Chapter 26. At the same time, Haida, who received the news from Luo Yu in the internet cafe of Haida Space Station, was also instructed to write the new game and red bean milk tea on the small blackboard, which immediately attracted the attention of other audiences. What does the name of this game mean? Can ghosts cry? Could this be a game of fighting ghosts? I'm curious. Wow! The game story requires 10 stars to activate, the price is too high. And red bean milk tea, what is this? It's almost the same, but instead of fighting ghosts, it's fighting demons. As for the red bean milk tea, it's a new drink. If you're interested, you can try it. Miss Haida introduced it like this. Devil? It's not a good thing to hear. Just fighting demons is too expensive, let's see. Waiting for the party is always the majority, early adopters are either rich and curious or have great trust in Luo Yu to activate the game. For example, Miss Esta, who is not short of money, immediately activated the early adopters. And because Penguin News was popularized after Luo Yu left, that is to say, every player can start the live broadcast. And Miss Esta thought about it and broadcast it live, feasting the eyes of those waiting parties. And as a high-quality customer of our shop who spends more than one xingsheng, Miss Esta enjoys the full power of broadcasting the live broadcast on the largest holographic projection in the internet cafe. Now players who are interested in the new game and players who haven't played the game are all looking over. The battle of the holographic projection is very real. Watching the fight between Dante and Virgil, the customers in the store basically showed a surprised expression similar to that of Silva. It seems that the red person lost. Is it the blue person I want to experience? Here, Shilava just thought so, but the beginning of the plot made her thoughts disappear instantly. With the ringing of the phone, Dante walked out of the room intact, but very chicly kicked off the seat without sitting on his legs, and smashed the phone into his hand. He said in a gentle voice that the office is not yet open. The handsome appearance, white hair, gentle voice, and strong body can be said to fascinate thousands of girls and young women, and Zillawa's eyes lit up when he saw it. While the plot is still going on, the bald man outside the door walks in without talking about martial arts and summons a monster to suddenly attack Dante, who is eating pizza. 5 or 6 hell residents stab Dante with a sickle in his hand until his whole body bleeds. Dante, who was stabbed up and down, also faced it calmly, shaking all the monsters away, but the monster's sickle blade was still hanging on his arm and calf. But in this case, Dante still has the mood to turn on the speaker to play music with emotion. The dynamic banquet has begun, are you ready? Dante said that he used the knife on his body as a weapon, and attacked from left to right, easily reaping the lives of all the invading monsters, and by the way, he used his electric fan as a weapon to attack, and demolished the house in a fight. But this scene shocked the people of the 2 stores even more. Is this guy immortal? Demons actually have such terrifying abilities. This is too powerful, such a handsome battle, no, I want to buy one to try, and experience the thrill of a gorgeous battle. Some people can't help it when they see the cut scenes. After all, the cut scenes in our store are actually operations that can be typed out. And soon a large group of people went to activate the game to try it out for themselves. And Zillawa has already watched the cut scene, and the first thing she faced was the mobs from the office. In his hand is a 2-handed sword with the face of a demon, a relic left by Sparta to Dante. Taking the name Rebel, it got its name because its master turned his back on his race to help humanity. There is also a pair of twin guns, ebony and white ivory as auxiliary weapons. And Zillawa was filled with basic operations the moment she entered the game. The excited Silva was ready to kill all directions like Dante in the plot. But soon after getting started, he felt that the rebellious sword was not easy in his hands, and it might be that Silva was not familiar with the sword and was quite clumsy when he raised his hand and waved it. A sword hit one of the mobs on the head, but the mobs were not cut into melons and vegetables as in the cut scene, but the monsters easily resisted the blow, and the other monsters immediately attacked from all directions. Zillawa was caught off guard, and was stabbed 8 times in the back. Her blood volume dropped by more than half in an instant, and her battle score, which was gradually increasing, returned to D in an instant. This battle score can be understood as a synchronization rate. A high synchronization rate proves that the game is closer to the real Dante's level of strength. Zillawa hurriedly swung his sword with a big windmill, all the mobs rolled to avoid, and surrounded again when Zillawa just stopped. During the crisis, Zillawa realized that she still had a firearm, so she prepared to imitate Dante's very handsome swinging and shooting. The result may be that the synchronization rate is too low. The 2 guns flew in the sky and hit the monster's face. Shilava already felt that something was wrong, but under the crisis, her potential might explode, and she swung her big sword in an instant and slashed wildly. After a burst of weapon collisions, the monster still turned into a bloody mosaic. Dante covered in blood and blood. And this kind of scene happened in the screens of the players who were full of interest in the internet cafe. Suddenly, many people felt that they might be cheated. Soon Luo Yu received private messages from many players. "Boss, what kind of game are you? The plot in your animation is very harmful. Why can't we play the operations in the video, but only hack and slash without appearance?" Miss Esta started complaining without hesitation. Esta, who has never used a two-handed sword, is basically in the same situation as Silva. She thought she could perform cool operations like a boss, and the audience screamed. Embarrassing in front of players. March 7th, "Boss, we bought the game without hesitation because we believed in you, but after playing it, your video promotion is probably not just for reference, we will only hack and hack." Angry Flip Table, and even Silva, who was playing this kind of game for the first time, felt that something was wrong, but she thought it was her own problem, so she looked at Luo Yu and asked in embarrassment, "Boss, do you want to teach me? I don't seem to be able to play Dante's fighting style. I can only chop and chop." Luo Yu thought about it. It seems that many people are not very familiar with the operation of the big sword. It will not be normal, but he did not expect that so many people would not play at all. Although he adjusted the difficulty of getting started, he did not expect that almost everyone was wiped out. And even the first game of the Black Tower didn't play too many operations, but it was very reluctant to pass the first level of death, but at least there was some game experience, but this already explained the problem. "Okay, let me start a live broadcast and explain it." At the same time, a tall and short figure appeared at the entrance of the internet cafe. Ariel seems to be right this time. Chapter 27. Kafka looked at these familiar signs and exhaled. Elio's prediction is finally correct. It's really weird. As long as people involve this person, Elliot is almost impossible to predict. Only this time, what we predict is only the latest news about him, which is accurate. Silverwolf also felt very incredible. During this time, since they completed the mission of the Star Core carrier, they went back and told Elliot about everything that happened. Elliot felt unbelievable, and there was basically no unpredictable thing in its prophecy script, unless he might be a star gods or higher dimensional things are excluded from the script. But is it possible? It is almost impossible for that young-looking boy to be a star god. The only one who is close to humans and able to communicate with humans seems to be the pioneering star god Akivalai. Could the boss still be the same as Akivalai? They would rather believe that this person is actually a special variable, or that the person favored by the star god cannot be predicted. But no matter what, they at least have a positive impression of Luo Yu. He seems to be only concentrating on running an internet cafe as the boss and playing games. Let's stop standing at the door, go in and have a look. I don't know what the boss will look like when he sees us coming. Kafka looked at Silverwolf and chatted. I don't know, but since you invited us to visit us at home, let's take a look. I'm also curious about the level of the game made by the so-called game master. Silverwolf said as he opened the door. There were only 2 people in the shop, unexpectedly empty. Luo Yu didn't seem to pay attention to the 2, but turned on the big screen to start the live broadcast. Luo Yu also tried it when he created the world of Devil May Cry. Although the physics engine was changed to the real world, it is impossible to pick up the monster with a single knife and hit it so that it cannot fall. It does not conform to the real world. The virtual reality version of the game all follows the physical laws of reality, so the situation in the original game where the weapon pierces through the body but the monster's body remains indifferent is obviously impossible, which is why it is impossible to strike a sword in midair. The reason for slashing slowly with one sword, the monster would have been slashed and flew away long ago. But there are still other ways to play Dante's operation. Luo Yu's game progress is almost blank, and the play of the cut scenes attracted the second daughter of Kafka who was planning to greet Luo Yu. Among them, Kafka saw Dante swinging a beautiful two-handed sword as fast as lightning. The monster was easily harvested, and when there were many monsters, he took out his magic 2 guns and shot wildly, and the monsters fell in pieces. Kafka's eyes lit up for a moment. With one sword in one hand and 2 spears in the other, Kafka also fights in this way. The difference may be a big sword and a Tadeo. Kafka may be surprised, but other players who have played the game scoffed at it. The animation effect is nothing more than animation. Unless the boss can really play this kind of operation, otherwise this is a fraudulent video. Luo Yu didn't say a word, and faced 8 ordinary arrogant mobs besieged at the beginning of the game. Many players had hacked indiscriminately, and couldn't play cool moves at all. In this regard, Luo Yu can only say that this group of people still has too little combat experience and insufficient understanding of the game. Luo Yu, the little monster at the beginning, was useless for his rebellious sword. He just threw out the scythe fragments on his body when a group of monsters surrounded him. Dante, controlled by Luo Yu, jumped up and took a shot aimed at the monster's forehead, shot his head, and then stepped on the monster's corpse with both feet, flying like a skateboard and flying towards the monsters surrounding him on the other side. The guns fired wildly, and the monsters who were beaten were turned on their backs, and Luo Yu had already picked up the rebellious sword and threw it back. Just as the monster stood up, the sword had already flown into the crowd of monsters, and suddenly a group of monsters were thrown out of the door by the terrifying force. Some corpses were separated, some smashed outside the door, the field was cleared directly, and the great sword flew into Dante's hands from outside the door as if it had a spirit. In this way, Luo Yu controlled Dante to put on a red coat, with 2 guns behind him, and walked out of the office with a rebellious sword on his shoulder. But the audience in the live broadcast room has been dumbfounded. No, why did the boss really use the Dante operation? How can he still step on the monster and fly? March 7, who only knows how to hack and slash, suddenly felt that she might have played a fake game. The boss is so cool with the gun, I wouldn't even hit the monster's face directly. The monsters outside the door already had elite monsters, but for Luo Yu it was just the beginning. The current monsters are all monsters on the 7th floor of hell, and the monsters in front of them are a group of arrogant monsters led by Lazy blocking the entrance of the office. As soon as Luo Yu appeared, they were like sharks that smelled their prey, and they all came to kill them immediately. Luo Yu didn't rush, his eyes mainly focused on the sloth monster with the thickest blood. The big sword waved 2 heavy slashes and directly lifted the 2 monsters away, and then jumped, and then saw the figure of Luo Yu as if he was convulsing the wind in the air, and saw countless sword shadows and gunfire slashing downwards one after another. It was almost time to see countless after images on the screen. And the audience in the live broadcast room suddenly felt like shit. How is it possible? The boss can't beat the monster down. March 7th was shocked. Boss, what kind of operation is this? I can't understand why, but it seems that gunshots and sword swings are very frequent. Miss Esta also posted a barrage. Boss, how did he do this? After I picked up the monster fell down quickly, and some of them were split in half with too much force. GZI also expressed doubts, maybe the Black Tower space station also. GZI has a little talent for the big sword, but he still can't control the strength when he used it just now, but after seeing Luo Yu's operation, he just wants to know how to hit it of. Silva was going to ask the boss to teach her a lesson, but as she was watching Luo Yu's operation, she didn't quite understand how the operation was performed. Kafka and Silverwolf watched carefully from behind without saying a word. And Dante, controlled by Luo Yu, knocked out the monster in the air within a few seconds, and continued to attack with convulsions after landing, until the monster couldn't get off. Luo Yu has gradually adapted to this rhythm, and the combat score next to him has reached A level. Then he stepped on the corpse of the lazy monster, slid out like a skateboard, and the 2 guns fired wildly, and the monsters who approached retreated one after another. And the last kick was like kicking garbage. The lazy monster under his feet was originally a very resistant, elite monster with strong fighting power, and it had already exploded into pieces. And now the battle score has reached S. Chapter 28. Come, come. Luo Yu manipulated Dante to wave his hands, frantically provoking the monster in front of him, increasing his battle score. The monster charged angrily at the provocation, and Luo Yu immediately stabbed out with an extremely abrupt sword and slashed hard. Luo Yu had already rushed out of the group of monsters with the last lazy hell and reached the 2nd floor. I saw that Luo Yu controlled Dante to launch another convulsive attack on this lazy hell monster that had been picked out of the monster group. When all the mobs went up to the 2nd floor, Dante controlled by Luo Yu used the body of the mobs as a skateboard and slammed them down the fence on the 2nd floor. The gunfire from the 2 guns shot out crazily. Everyone is dazzled. This battle is pleasing to the eye, just like art, and Dante fights in such a flashy and open-ended battle. Seeing this operation, Haida seemed to gradually understand a little bit, but not completely, so he quietly watched Luo Yu's answer. Kafka's eyes are getting brighter, she must learn such cool fighting skills. Silver Wolf, this kind of operation feels that the understanding of the game is too high. It is not an operation that ordinary people can play. Whether it is timing or detail control, it is already close to the real protagonist of this game. As a cosmic hacker and possibly a game master, Silver Wolf quickly understood the difficulty of this operation. March 7th, I feel like the boss is not playing the same game as we are playing. Esta, I agree, I just want to know how the boss performs this kind of operation, and I hope the boss can give me some pointers. This is the art of fighting, and ours is just hacking. Silva listened to the game's BGM and felt such a cool fighting style, and suddenly felt that her own game style might be wrong. The players at the Black Tower space station were even more envious, wanting to learn crazily, and the bullet screens were all asking the boss for advice. Luo Yu seemed to realize it at this time. He was a little too involved just now, and almost forgot that he was broadcasting a strategy live. Oh, well, I just happened to find a boss who is resistant to fighting and explain it to you later. Luo Yu slashed and slashed with ease all the way, and soon came to a huge frozen palace. As if aware of the intrusion of outsiders, the iceberg collapsed in the huge earthquake, and countless huge ice cubes fell. I saw one head with 3 heads, and the whole body was like a hill. The whole body, including the 3 huge chests, was wrapped in thick. The terrifying monsters in the ice crystals came out of it. In the cut scenes, Dante is not as tall as the 3-headed dog's legs despite the huge stature of the 3-headed dog. The 3-headed dog's head was covered with solid ice, and its eyes were as indifferent and fierce as a black hole. Players can at most defeat the god of death in the first level, but this is the 3-headed dog with thicker blood in the second level. I saw the hell 3-headed dog in front of me, raised its head high, and then the fierce cold air sprayed out like a storm towards the tiny human in front of it. The monster seems to think that humans can't fly, so it directly attacks the ground and covers a large area. But I saw Dante controlled by Luo Yu jumping high, and then Dante's gun and sword alternated crazily as if convulsing, and the whole person hovered over the head of the 3-headed dog. The ice shards on the head of the hell 3-headed dog splattered, and the ice crystal armor covering the head was smashed to pieces almost in the blink of an eye by several heavy slashes like a convulsion. Luo Yu explained while fighting, this kind of airborne effect requires guns, swords to be replaced, and rhythm to be controlled. The big sword cuts the joints where the magic power of the monster is connected, where it is almost the hardest part of the body, and it is generally not easy to break. Dante's own stagnation in the air can rely on the gun's recoil to fly the spear, and the direction of the shooting must be vertically downward. Only in this way can we obtain the greatest upward momentum and ensure that Dante stays in the air for a longer period of time, and I feel that this monster's IQ is a bit low. It can only attack the bottom. I can easily skip class with my current skills. I feel that the difficulty should be raised. It should also have attack methods against the air. Luo Yu's words stunned the onlookers. What? Only hit the magical joints? And you have to be distracted to shoot and hit the monster to get the recoil kinetic energy? Human. March Chi and the other players suddenly felt bad. If he can't walk, he will let him run away, and he and others can't use a big sword well, let alone a monster that hits the monster's joints with every move. March 7th, why do I feel like I can't learn after the boss tells me? Esta, don't talk about it, I don't want to learn it after hearing the first request from the store manager. I don't even know how to use a big sword, let alone 2 guns. Silva, so there are so many skills behind this cool operation? No wonder I can't use it. Don't talk about the boss, I am no longer Hikari Wanla. I was successfully persuaded to quit. The handicapped silently quit the game. When Luo Yu said that he still dislikes monsters for their low IQ, question marks frantically appeared on the bullet screen, and many players turned dark. Farewell to the boss, this difficulty is already perverted enough for us. Shut up. Shameless old thief, be yourself. Be merciful, boss, we can't learn your operation. Haida, sure enough, the difficulty is indeed a bit high, but it should be fine with more practice. Haida is quite confident, he understands the core of the skill and the acquired talent will always be one step ahead. And Luo Yu's operation is still going on, the red light flashes under his feet, he jumps twice to the next head and continues to convulse the attack. In the original game, the recoil of the gun alone cannot support the whole person to stay in the air for a long time. But now every slash will receive mutual counter-shock force, the addition of the 2, Dante's stagnation in the air will not fall at all. Looking at the silly appearance of the hell 3-headed dog, the players do seem to feel that this monster is a bit silly, but they will only beep in their hearts, and they will never take the initiative to propose it. It is already difficult enough, okay? Increased difficulty. However, Luo Yu didn't intend to stay in the air with a set of monsters with a death streak, and landed after smashing 3 heads to demonstrate to the audience. The audience in the live broadcast room was suddenly puzzled. Why did the boss fall to the ground? Didn't he beat him to death? It's not that the boss thinks it's not good to go too easily, so prepare to defeat the 3-headed dog head-on. The barrage is pretty much what it says. And the 3-headed hellhound was very angry after being beaten, and immediately exploded in anger and attacked with all its strength. But at this moment, Luo Yu's eyes brightened, and a white light flashed on Dante's body. Everything was in the blink of an eye. After the white light, there were clearly visible and hideous wounds on the 3 heads of the 3-headed dog. No one understood what happened. The 3-headed dog fell to the ground with a howl. The audience in the live broadcast room. The boss is hanging up. Chapter 29. If Luo Yu's explanation of the previous things can be understood, then they really didn't understand this move. They saw that the store manager landed, Cerberus A went out, a white light flashed on Dante's body, and Cerberus fell to the ground seriously injured with a trace of blood left. Esta, what kind of operation is this? I don't understand. Has anyone seen what the boss just did? March 7th, I just took a closer look. It seems that the boss's Dante flashed white light, and the hellhound flew out as if it had been bounced off, and it was seriously injured. Explain, boss, what kind of skill is this? Even though Silva was beside Luo Yu, she didn't see his operation clearly. After Luo Yu put away the weapon transformed into a hell 3-headed dog, he took the time to glance at the live barrage. Oh, you will have this ability after playing, but it requires proficiency and skill. Luo Yu said and opened Dante's panel. Dante has 4 styles. They are Trickster, Spearman, Royal Guard, and Juggernaut. In addition, there are also styles such as Quicksilver and Double Body. Each style also has its own special ability, but it has not been unlocked yet. Trickster, a style that greatly enhances mobility, capable of continuous quick sprinting and short-distance teleportation. Juggernaut, maximize the power and usage of various melee weapons. Gunslinger, specialize in the use of long-range firearms, greatly increase the rate of fire and destructiveness, and can use a variety of firearms in a gorgeous way. Royal Guard, when the enemy's attack is about to hit, harden a small part of the body with magic power, and perfectly parry the attack with the action similar to the Hua Kung Fu of connecting hair. At the same time, it can concentrate its strength in the neutral position when the enemy attacks, and instantly launch a violent counterattack against the exposed weaknesses. And Luo Yu planted flowers in his previous life, so he chose the Royal Guards. This kind of move, like pulling 1,000 caddies with strength, is very practical and handsome. Luo Yu explained to the players, just now I used the flash ability in the Royal Guard, and the Royal Guard is also the most difficult. This is a defense-oriented counterattack style. If it succeeds, it will be completely immune to this attack. If it fails, a small amount of blood will be deducted, but if it is a perfect flash, it will not only defend but even double the return. But the difficulty of the perfect flash is a skill that can only be learned with intuition and proficiency. It seems simple but is actually more difficult than the technique of staying in the air. Luo Yu said and found a mob to try. Seeing Dante not moving, the monster directly slashed down. Sanyuki and the girls watched carefully, only to see a flash of white light. The little monster slashed down and was blown away, and his body was turned into ashes in the air. March 7th, boss, are you serious? Why do I feel that it seems quite simple? I want to try it myself. After sending out the barrage on March 7th, I hurried into the game, hacked all the way to unlock the Royal Guard's flash, and then found a monster to try. The moment the monster dropped the knife, a white light flashed, and the next moment Dante was slashed and rolled around before standing up again. What's going on? It's already flashed before the attack. I don't believe it, I'm going to try. March 7th's unbelief continued, and then Dante rolled, and finally blocked it again, but he didn't reach Luo Yu's level of knocking monsters into the air. What's going on? Obviously, the boss uses it in the same way. Is there any mystery in it that I don't understand? Others are pretty much the same. Luo Yu soon received a private message. Xing Mei, March 7th, let me secretly ask you about the secret to a truly perfect moment. Luo Yu. Only familiar with hands. It's really exciting. I didn't expect the boss to be a game master. Luo Yu turned his head and saw Kafka and the second daughter of Yunlang watching him on the sofa in the rest area. Long time no see, you should still welcome us. I welcome friends' words very much. I was dealing with some players' problems just now. Have you guys eaten? If you haven't eaten, I still have some special food here. There's no need for this. We are still interested in the game you just played, boss. Is this the game made by the game master? I heard that it can also open up a new destiny. Silver Wolf is very straightforward, but after watching Luo Yu's operation for a while, he also wants to try it. This is natural. The game master will not reject any player who is interested in the game. In addition to bringing players a novel game experience, it is her path to improve the player's strength and open their destiny. Having the ability to protect themselves and survive. Then may I ask, are all the skills in it learnable? Kafka still cares more about these. After all, Dante's artistic fighting style is too suitable for her. This is also natural. If playing games is only to improve the strength of fate but not to improve the diversity of players' fighting skills and methods, then the road will be narrowed. It would be too disappointing for eager players not to be able to learn this ability. Kafka's heart was moved by his words. The game master is really reasonable. I believe his achievements will soon be famous in the universe. And soon, under the guidance of Luo Yu, the two also successfully boarded the plane. Silva at the side couldn't help but click her tongue when she looked at Kafka, who had a mature temperament. Unexpectedly, the boss is a big sister at such a young age, but it seems to fit his temperament very well. It is quite normal for beautiful girls to like big sisters. Luo Yu didn't know that Silva was planning himself in his mind, and he was watching Kafka behind and operating. Compared with others, Kafka, as a star core hunter, is much more adaptable to big swords. At least the swordsmanship of big swords is still vigorous, and relying on his own intuition, he can block with a big sword and draw out black swords at the same time. Sandalwood attacked, and the office level couldn't trouble her at all. Although not at the same time, but the same duck, as one of the ducks and ducks, Silver Wolf is born with superb game talent. Even the big sword that he is not good at is just inferior to Kafka and Haida, currently in the store can rank third among all players. But Kafka was not satisfied with such a good performance, especially when he was about to try staying in the air for himself and felt the difficulty. What Luo Yu said to Hikong is actually quite simple, such as how hard it is to hit the hardest magic joint of the monster, the timing of shooting, the timing of the double jump, and so on. The main reason is that Luo Yu didn't go into details because he was afraid that if he said all of them, he would directly scare or discourage the players. With his own experiments and the fact that his score reached A level and Dante got more fighting skills in his brain, Kafka knew how terrifying the fighting talent of the 17 or 18-year-old handsome young boss was. Sure enough, those who can be favored by the star gods are all cosmic geniuses in a certain aspect. Kafka made an evaluation in her heart. Chapter 30. Kafka's performance can only be said to be worthy of the strength of the star core hunter, and it fits very well with Dante, and he also chose the royal guard just like Luo Yu. After all, attacking is not a shortcoming, but if the skill of perfect flash can be used in reality, the increase in strength will be too great. And facing Kafka, the god of death, he was ready to try it out. Reaper is fast and can teleport within a short distance, but Kafka has rich combat experience. Although she is not sure where the monster is, she has a gun. The two guns fired like a storm at the place where he felt threatened. As expected, Reaper was beaten very quickly. Kafka raised the rebellious sword and flew Reaper into the sky with an upward thrust. As he was about to attack, Reaper disappeared with a teleportation. Kafka wasn't angry, but subconsciously turned on the defense. As expected, the god of death did not retreat but advanced. The sound of gold and iron clanging did resist the attack of the god of death, but it didn't achieve the boss's effect at all. Then Kafka tried 5 or 6 more times, but 8 out of 10 times he was able to defend. Boss, this perfect flash seems to be too difficult. In the end, Kafka could only look to Luo Yu behind him for help. Well, I feel like you're not looking carefully enough. Forget it, I'm going to fight a boss to demonstrate to you. Luo Yu felt that it was a bit difficult to figure it out without a move list, so he planned to teach it again. Luo Yu said in the internet cafe exchange group that he taught the royal guards a flash technique live. Soon, the group became lively. March 7th, the boss is going to live teach again, hurry up and watch. Esta, great, I want to watch the boss's operation again. I feel that I didn't understand the three-headed dog last time. I didn't learn it at all, but the blind operation died faster. The difficulty of Devil May Cry is too high, but it's really cool after a little bit of manipulation. The progress of igniting the soul of action in the middle of the life has increased a lot. GZI, has the boss started teaching again? Please support me. Walter Yang, Boss Luo's fighting talent is almost unmatched in my knowledge, so I should watch and learn from it. Many players also came to join in the fun. After all, although I may not be able to finish watching this time, it is also good to appreciate the gorgeous and artistic battle of the boss. Here we come, the boss started the live broadcast. Kafka, Silver Wolf and Silva also paused the game and sat in the rest area to watch the big screen. Among them, Zillowa may be the most shocking one. Why so many texts seem to be sent by many people? Oh, this is a barrage. It was posted by a player from another store. It's normal that your planet is too far behind to know. Silver Wolf looked at Zillowa and explained casually. So you are aliens. Silva quickly realized something was wrong and couldn't help asking, it's natural, don't you know? It seems that the boss didn't tell you anything. Forget it, we won't interfere with your planet's affairs. Another wave of people will come to help you. Kafka's explanation surprised Silva even more. Unexpectedly, this group of people admitted it openly. Since it is an alien, this magical thing is normal. Before Silva could think too much, the big screen had already started projecting the display. Where did the boss hit? Don't ask, the hell three-headed dog hasn't cleared the level. It is estimated that most of us will not be able to come here in our lifetime. Barrage exchange in front of Luo Yu was a magic tower of a huge palace. The two huge statues of door gods in front of the door seemed to feel the arrival of creatures and began to tremble, dust scattered and made sounds. Brother, where is the long-lost guest? Guests should be treated grandly. March 7th, the statue actually spoke, and there were two of them. Haida, it can't be two boss gate gods, that would be interesting. Then as if the words came true, Dante shrugged his shoulders indifferently in the plot. When are you going to talk about it? I can't wait for the guest. As Dante spoke, he pulled out the great sword of rebellion behind him, and the next moment the statue became a pair of monsters holding machetes. Agni and Rudra respectively. At the beginning, the two monsters each kicked Luo Yu from Fishanxing Gluo. With a strong sense of pressure on the soles of his feet, Luo Yu calmly and began to explain at this time. For Yu Bang, these two brothers with high attack frequency are the best. Then I will introduce the various ways of using Yu Bang. One is the simplest direct release. As Luo Yu said, he actively released a flash, and there was a sound of gold and iron clattering immediately. Luo Yu's figure was shocked and slid back for a certain distance. This kind of attack did not grasp the essence of the flash at all, its attack power was very low, and its defense was only just right. And the two monsters directly took advantage of the victory to pursue, and the figures flew out like cannonballs and swung their knives. But at the moment when Luo Yu almost attacked him, his figure suddenly flashed white light, and the monster's fierce attacking posture was suddenly scattered, and a force exploded from his body, knocking the monster away. And this is the second type. When the opponent's attack is interrupted by the flash on the eve of the opponent's attack, the power of the flash released in the body will injure the enemy, which belongs to the entry level of the flash. As Luo Yu explained, the barrage was also much quieter and everyone seemed to be watching quietly. After Kafka watched it, she realized that she might not have achieved the second type, and she just actively released it to block it. Not to mention other players, they didn't master the first one. And Luo Yu explained the time to control Dante to make provocative moves, which made another blue monster pounce on him without hesitation. And Luo Yu's eyes were unprecedentedly serious, and the power flow in his body almost flashed in a few tenths of a second. The monster's strong impact was absorbed instantly under the control of Luo Yu's energy, and the power accumulated in his body was added at the next moment. The absorbed power explodes instantly. Rudra only felt that his strength was like hitting a sponge, the power was instantly absorbed by the water, and the next moment the sponge seemed to suddenly become an inflated bomb and explode in an instant. An incomparably terrifying explosion force erupted from the body of this person, and Rudra's figure flew out again like lightning, and instantly collided with the solid palace gate. Even the thick gate was shaken and sent landslides. Crackling sound. Rudra's blood bar was almost instantly left with a trace. And this last one is called the perfect flash, which accumulates strength in the body at the moment when the opponent is about to attack you, and perfectly absorbs the opponent's attack, but once again increases the power of the flash for yourself, and then uses the stored flash give back all your power. Chapter 31 is too difficult. Luo Yu's 3 flash demonstrations were performed in a calm and unhurried manner, but many audiences just found it pleasing to the eye, and didn't feel anything. It seemed that it was just a flash of timing. But keen people such as Silver Wolf, Kafka, Haida, Jitsi, Walter, and others have already discovered the secret of Luo Yu's flash, that is double prediction. When the enemy attacks at the right time, he absorbs it with the power of just the right time. After apportioning, the energy absorbed and accumulated in the body will burst out instantly. Only in this way can it be regarded as a perfect flash. There are two difficulties: double prediction and accumulation of strength in advance, and the proficiency of power absorption skills, both of which are indispensable. This kind of perfect flash even Luo Yu must take it seriously. That's why it is said that the difficulty of this perfect flash is much more difficult than his own airborne skills. March 7th, it feels like the boss has done a lot of details at the moment of the monster's attack, but he can't analyze it. Xing Mei, as expected of him, you can use it as soon as you want to use it without fear of overturning the car. Kafka, this is great. Fortunately, such powerful skills can be trained in the game world. If anyone has this confidence in real life and makes a perfect flash with his life, he is probably making a joke of his own life. It's not that there is no skill in the world, mainly because there is no place to train this ability, but now that there is, Kafka is very satisfied, and she will train harder to perfect her flash. This learning is the greatest help to her. Even if it's not a flash of perfection, entry level is fine. And Luo Yu changed his fighting style after demonstrating the use of flashes again and again. I saw Dante take out the chain 3-section cudgel Cerberus from behind, which is exactly the transformation of the three-headed dog of hell, and taking out the weapon Dante performed a very cool swinging stick movement dazzling and Dante's confident and handsome expression. The domineering is exposed. Esta, wow! What a cool move, is this the weapon transformed into a hell three-headed dog? March 7th, why did the boss change the weapon? I haven't seen enough of it in a flash, although this weapon is also very handsome. Zillowa tried again for a while and felt that she might just get started during this period of time. Occasionally, she was lucky enough to get hit once in a while. This kind of confidence blow was quite big, but Zillowa felt relieved, and was ready to see the boss's operation. The monster's 3-section stick is basically the same as the nunchaku in his previous life, and each of the rich weapon systems in Devil May Cry can create different interesting moves, which greatly increases the playability. Hurry up, come and go without a trace, so fast that only after images can be seen with the naked eye. Luo Yu took the initiative to attack Agni with a dodge, 5 consecutive hits, 6 consecutive hits, and in an instant the dense rain of attacks came over the sky. Agni was angry because Rudra was almost beaten to death, but before he could take revenge, he gradually couldn't resist Luo Yu's fierce attack with his sword. Break! Luo Yu was not going to deal with the monster. A sudden violent whirlwind and the whirlwind popsicle danced a terrifying frost. Agni's arm was instantly frozen, and then the big knife was released, and the popsicle remained unabated. Almost all the attacks fell on the monster. Agni was beaten instantly with only a trace of blood left. The audience in the live broadcast room. Ah, is it that easy to solve? It feels like this monster is useless. Haida, it's not useless. It's because the ice attribute of this weapon is too strong and the attack frequency of the little boss's weapon is too fast. A monster can't stop it at all, let alone this monster is not particularly high, it is not resistant to fighting, the difficulty is only 2, that's all. Now 1 is really simple. When Ms. Haida opened her mouth, she basically analyzed it. March 7th, it's a handsome weapon, but it can't beat the 3-headed hellhound, damn it. At this time, the 2 monsters had understood Luo Yu's strength and begged for mercy, and turned into 2 big swords in front of Dante, the wind and fire double swords. We have waited too long for someone stronger than us, please let us follow you to help you. Dante looked at the 2 knives and hesitated for a moment and drew a 1 with his fingers. Only one condition, don't speak. And after getting it done, Dante has 1 more weapon. Everyone immediately envied. March 7th, boss, Dante is so handsome, and the weapons are getting more and more enviable. The onlookers are envious, but they have no choice but to lose their hands. This game is basically a show for the great gods. Ordinary people probably have to practice for 2.5 years. Esta, if you can't learn it, you can't learn it. Suddenly, you feel that Honkai-san's skills are good. It's not difficult to play. I suddenly remembered that I haven't played Honkai-san today, so I slipped away. Miss Esta's thinking is almost the same as most people's thinking. Devil May Cry is too difficult to get started. If you are not preparing for long-term training, let's take a look at the Valkyrie of Honkai III. Seeing Miss Esta's bullet screen, many people suddenly remembered that they seemed to have not logged into Honkai III today, and rushed to log in. Esta soon discovered that it seemed that the main storyline had been updated with a new plot poetry of wind and color. In Honkai, the one who cares most about the plot is Jitsi. Today, when I was a little tired from training the rebellious sword, Jitsi logged into Honkai 3 and continued the main storyline to open the second chapter of The Voice in the Dream. In Kiana's dream, an ethereal voice that did not resemble a human sounded. "Lost girl, welcome home here, who are you? This is really an indescribable question, do you like the world I constructed for you?" Gzi watched the plot silently, and only felt that the bewitching voice might be a girl, and she might not be particularly old, but this voice? Could it be the lawyer? Gzi seemed to think it was possible. After all, how could the main character be anything but special? Mei and the supporting actresses all had hair skurs, and Kiana's idiot character and genius-like fighting talent and physique must be the big secret. In fact, the guess is good, and as the plot deepens, the owner of the voice seems to know a lot about the second collapse, and knows Kiana's parents. In the second Honkai 14 years ago, as you said, you were selected to become a hairsker like your Mei, but that was just a fake. Of course, since there is a third hairsker, there is the first second. The voice's words confirmed Himeko's thoughts. Sure enough, maybe the owner of this voice is the first or second hairsker. And then Sirin seemed to be introducing herself. The second hairsker of the second Honkai is the messenger of destruction with space ability, and Destiny dispatched the only S rank, and also the only precious weapon against the Honkai humanoid that can only be used once, which is your mother, Destiny Cecilia, Shaniat, the strongest S-rank Valkyrie of the previous generation. This news can only be said to be unexpected and reasonable for players who are concerned about the plot of Honkai. Kiana's father is an excellent warrior of the Kislana family, and her mother is the strongest S-rank Valkyrie in Destiny's last session. It's no wonder that Kiana born in this way is not strong, and even feels that the current B rank is too low. Chapter 32. Is the second hairsker the space ability? That is indeed a powerful ability, and the third hairsker is the power of lightning. It seems that each hairsker has the ability to control it. So there should be many hairskers. Hearing Jitsi's chatter, Walter Yang really wanted to tell Jitsi to stop watching. Anyway, in his memory, if Kiana is continuously bewitched by Sirin the hairsker of the sky, it is basically not far from an accident. If an accident happens to Kiana, then some hateful Archbishop of Destiny is about to cause trouble, or it was in his expectation. The strength of the hairsker of the sky in the second collapse made Otto fancy, and he planned to sacrifice his most important relatives and friends in order to allow humans to control the power of the hairsker. That person can't be Brynja and Raiden Mei at present, his father is missing, his mother died in the second Honkai battle, and Otto also added a fire to directly fission bomb the ground. It's even more impossible for Fuhua Delisa. After a circle, only Gzi, the only teacher Kiana cares about, is left in the whole Saint Freya Academy, and Gzi's character is destined to be the most important in Otto's chessboard. One of. For a stupid but caring person, the death of the most important person will make him grow quickly. To put it ridiculously, Otto trampled on the lives and emotions of countless people, but he is the one who believes in the power of human emotions the most, otherwise he would not have the idea of letting Kiana control the power of the hairsker of the sky. Even after such a long time, Yang Shen breathed out, as if he still couldn't let go of what the man did. If the man hadn't finally done something when he fulfilled his last wish, Yang's evaluation would be a heinous crime. This game, Ryato, don't show your blood, otherwise I will beat you up even if you pay for it. Yang thought about it and thought it was possible, but the plot would be far behind. And Jitsi was watching Wu Yang to Jitsi drinking and Teresa persuading Jitsi not to drink. Your body in other words have made the aunt understand what she couldn't help but sigh. It can be guessed that I don't have any talent for fighting. I only practice hard in that world. I may not have much time due to the overload of combat, so I want to indulge in entertainment. Let's have a drink and get drunk today. By the way, I will make a date halfway. It's really a sad life, but I still hope that even if I die, I should die well. Gzi thought so. If Walter Yang heard this, he would probably be choked, and replied that he was indeed worthy of death, and the value was too great. He would directly be the most important spiritual sustenance and life mentor in the life of the final hairsker in the future. But Walter didn't intend to reveal this, and Gzi continued to watch the second chapter of the plot. Basically, Sirin was fooling and bewitching Kiana, making her lose her mind so that she could take advantage of this body. For this reason, Kiana was pulled into a dream again, and said, I am the ghost of your past, the nightmare you cannot escape. There is definitely something wrong with Kiana's body. She may have been left behind by the second hairsker, but Kiana is only 17 or 18 years old this year. How could she have anything to do with hairsker at the age of 2 or 3 14 years ago? Relationship, unless someone pulls him into an experiment. GZI thought about it and thought about the crazy scientists who experimented with the virus in Resident Evil. Is it possible that the power of hairsker is comparable to that of viruses, and the scientists with crazy people injected the things of hairsker into the experimental body? For the paranoia and madness of some scientists, Jitsi, who is also a scientist, knows very well that this is not impossible. It can only be said that if Yang heard it, he might be shocked. If it wasn't for the fact that Ryato hadn't appeared in the plot, Yang would suspect that GZI had seen it himself. And the next thing is that Xylan pretended to be Cheng Qiana and said all kinds of negative emotions to her relatives and friends, pretending to be Qiana's favorite friend and then hating her, pretending to be teacher Jitsi also hated her, and then her Aunt Teresa said that she was the one who killed his mother and let the father who lost his mother run away from home and resent her. All in order to make Qiana close to herself in despair. But although Qiana is stupid but not stupid and is extremely sensitive to people's personalities, Mei's words made Qiana suspicious and questioned and quickly saw through the trick. And Surin's misleading not only didn't work, but Qiana saw those monitors, Jitsi, Brenya, and Mei who still cared about her attitude early in the morning, and immediately felt that they were getting closer. Among them, Qiana was talking about the squad leader, and Fu Hua seemed to see what was on Qiana's mind. I don't know what you are thinking, Qiana, but no matter what it is, you should rest assured and focus on the battle in front of you, otherwise you will be defeated. To be honest, I am very envious of the former Qiana, who is full of fighting spirit and vitality. Looks great. Fu Hua's expression has always been very calm when he said these words, which is obviously a manifestation of his mental state of cultivation to a certain level, and his joy is not in his looks. Squad leader, but the way you speak is so mature, obviously we are almost classmates, students, don't pretend to be adults, okay? Fu Hua, hey, well, the exam is about to start, Qiana, let's start. GZI touched her round, beautiful melon-seeded face. This Fu Hua. I don't feel like an ordinary person. She looks young but trains hard without letting herself go, and is very rigid. She's already an A-level Valkyrie on campus. Maybe I'm thinking too much, after all, every story has a good student who is old-fashioned and old-fashioned. And then Destiny headquarters sent a very beautiful British-style maid Rita to inspect and investigate, and this Rita seemed to be very interested in little Teresa. The Valkyries in this world seem to be. Looking at Jitsi's appearance, Sanyuchi Haha explained this game has this style of painting. The boss personally said that Honkai III is a healing game with a positive and healthy plot, and a game that fights for all the good things in the world. Isn't the beautiful girl post very good? But Jitsi always feels unconvinced. After all, she just suspected that Qiana is the same experimental subject as Lisa in Resident Evil 1, and gradually understands the erosion and infection of Honkai, the ability of hairsker, and that this is the real world. How could it be possible to create such a child's play? But the plot took a sudden turn, and soon there was a problem with the Honkai energy test, and an Emperor-level Honkai beast Ganesha appeared that surpassed the current test. Teresa was frightened, it was impossible for the test program to generate an Emperor class. Don't care what it is, even if it's an Emperor class, I'll blow it up for you. Qiana has always been very confident in her current strength, at least she has not encountered an opponent that makes her feel desperate and can't beat her with all her strength. Chapter 33, Black Tower, Why Are You Surrounded by Women? Let's Sightseeing and Collapsing Plot, Part 3. GZI quietly watched the plot, and as she watched, she felt that the thing in Qiana's body became more and more violent, and even when Qiana had just defeated Ganesha and was tired, she didn't talk about wield directly and pulled Qiana's consciousness into it during the day in the dream. It can be said that the courage is getting bigger and bigger. Lovely girl, you are really surprising. Even Ganesha was defeated by you. You must know that this Honkai beast that appeared in 2012 killed 2 A-level Valkyrie and injured 12 Valkyrie. But Qiana was not convinced and communicated and said that she actually possessed the strength of an S-rank Valkyrie. But the voice said that he had experienced the real S-level, and that Qiana's level was not enough. At this time, even the idiot Qiana reacted. Could it be that you are the second hairsker? Qiana's expression instantly turned ugly and angry. GZI, finally you've come to your senses, kid. Even if it's a dream, Don't even think about leaving here, you murderer who killed Mom. But the second hairsker, Kiyuna, couldn't touch the position of the voice at all, and made it clear that she was going to harass her again and again until she couldn't bear it anymore, and then she could replace it. And then Rita's words aroused Jitsy's vigilance. I said earlier that Jitsy suspected that Kiyuna was an experimental subject, but Rita's words almost admitted it. Compared to the past, the physical strength of the observed object has increased significantly, but the degree of personality recovery needs further observation. The bishop's plan is about to reach the executable stage, and everything is within his plan. It seems that there is no need to think too much about it. Kiyuna should have been tampered with by the Archbishop of Destiny, which is very problematic. If the Archbishop of Destiny is such a person, the problem is too big. Jitsy soon lost her impression of Otto, Archbishop of Destiny, and even suspected that Otto was that kind of wretched old guy, or that he was a Valkyrie, which was too strange. Luo Yu also planned to take a look at the next update of the plot of Poetry of Wind and Color, so he sent a group message in the internet cafe. Luo Yu, store manager at all members, form a group to watch the plot of Honkai III, hurry up and get in the car. Luo Yu sent a message, and soon there was movement in the group. Esta, +1 Black Tower, +1 star, +1 GZI, what a coincidence, I was just about to add one. March 7th, and me, I just finished the second chapter. Silva, I will also participate. Silver Wolf, are you going? I can hide it for a while, but you should be recognized by seeing at a glance. Okay, I'll continue to practice, you go join in the fun with the boss. Kafka shrugged indifferently and continued to practice hard in Devil May Cry. And the group quickly bubbled up with a lot of people swiping the screen, and GZI looked at Walter Yang next to him at this time. Do you want to be together, Yang? Haven't you watched the latest one yet? Yang waved his hand. I'm not very interested in the plot of Honkai, I just play games. As Yang said, he continued to control the chariot Brinya and Mei Kiyuna played QTE to brush the battlefield. So, I understand. GZI always felt that Yang was running away from something, but others were unwilling and would not force him. Watching the plot together means that everyone's figures are projected into Luo Yu's space to watch together, so that even in a different world, as long as you have Luo Yu's computer network, the game can be projected. And Shilava, who is a native of Yali Luo, felt very strange when he saw the many figures suddenly appearing around him. Wow! What a handsome sister! After seeing Silva next to Luo Yu on March 7th, she unabashedly praised her. Thank you, you are also very cute, I will be Silva, how about you? Silva is not stage fright when dealing with people from other planets for the first time, she is very natural and calm. March 7th, this one is seeing, who is as cute as me is Ms. Haida, Station Master Esta, A&D. Sanyuki explained one by one that he knew each other, until he hesitated when he saw a small figure with blue ponytail, he didn't know each other. Silva and I are from a new store. My name is Hotu. I'm very happy to meet players from another store of yours. Silver Wolf's extremely natural greeting resolved the embarrassment of March 7. March 7th, hi Hotu, the two of you are customers of the new store. It seems that the boss's store is still quite popular yet, very popular with women. Haida spoke in a perfunctory tone, looking at Luo Yu with indifference. No, can you blame me for this? It can only be said that women may like novelty things. For example, Honkai III is a game with many beautiful girls, which is normal for women to like. I believe you have ghosts. If there are more beautiful girls, there should be more men. In fact, the main reason is that there are currently few male characters in the railway industry. Luo Yu really wanted to pull Uncle Yang in to save him, so he turned to look at Aunt Jitsi. Well, isn't Uncle Yang here? He said that he is not interested in the plot of this game, only playing games. Luo Yu. Well, it seems that Lao Yang didn't reveal too much about himself to GZI at all, so he can't force others to make things difficult for him. Okay, then our sightseeing tour begins. Luo Yu was surrounded by a group of beauties, big and small, surrounded by various fragrances, which made his head a little dizzy. At the beginning of the plot, the goal of the protagonist group this time is to long for gems, because according to Teresa's calculation, the limit of the Hyperion furnace is 1380 HW, but on the Moonlight Throne, it is 12000 HW, and the Destinies' ability to study Honkai is only 1500 HW at most. At present, the strength of more than 1500 HW will be rated as the strength of Hairsker. For example, when May broke out in Chongkong City, it was 3200 HW, so almost the Moonlight battleship needs the power of 4 Hairskers. The studious March 7th has doubts. Boss, what does HW mean? Oh, you don't need to understand the Honkai too deeply. You can simply understand the combat power. The intensity of the Honkai this time is lower than that of the Hairsker of Thunder. Luo Yu casually explained that even the Hairsker of Thunder, which has not been fully unlocked, can't surpass the strength of the Hairsker. As expected, it is Wendy. Ah, I see. Easy to understand, even a fool can understand it. And the Gem of Desire is now in Wendy's body, one of the most talented A-rank Valkyrie of the Wendy people, and was once considered the 4th S-rank Valkyrie of this generation. Wolyang Tajitsi explained the situation of the task characters. Wow! The 4th one, what about the other 3 from this era? Although Honkai III is not a high-level person in the Xingsheng Railway, it is limited by the locality. As far as the fighting skills and talents of the S-level Valkyrie are grown in the universe, they are almost the talents of General Xianzhou or an important member of one party. It is enough to lead a legion of people from one planet to fight in all directions. This is up to you to find out by yourself. Chapter 34. As the plot continued, Silver Wolf was obviously startled when he saw Brynja, who suddenly appeared in the plot to appease Wendy. Why does this Brynja look a bit like me? Could it be me from another world? As a cosmic hacker, Silver Wolf still knows a lot, such as the self in another world, but he didn't expect that there is another self in the game created by the game master. Silver Wolf Benson hasn't been in touch yet, and this time I came here just to have a look, but in the end I saw an unexpected surprise. As I watched, I found out that Brynja still needs an exoskeleton because of her disabled legs. Ah, this is too miserable for me in another world. It's a good thing that woman Kafka didn't come with me. Maybe she's going to use this to make fun of me. I'm curious about my future achievements in this world, right? Become a hacker genius like me. Silver Wolf felt that it was a good trip to follow. Luo Yu didn't know what the little theater in his heart was like, and the plot soon mentioned an S-rank Valkyrie. Yolandel, and she is currently the strongest S-rank Valkyrie. The strongest Valkyrie? The last one with this title was Kiana's mother, right? Gzi subconsciously thought about it, and the other people who paid attention to the plot were similar. Esta, the strongest S-rank Valkyrie, I really want to see what kind of demeanor it is. It must be very powerful to get this kind of evaluation. So we can see each other soon. March 7th has some small expectations, and Luo Yu can only express her fondness for it. Under Teresa's one-pass operation, the location of Olendal was successfully revealed against the entropy, and the snipe and the clam competed to delay the time. Wow! Teresa has done all the bad things and I still want to take a look at it. Yolandel sounds like a beautiful woman. On March 7th, my expectations were shattered and my mood fell instantly. And Teresa also roughly said that Olendal is a person who is serious enough to be abnormal and also serious about herself, and thinks that the boss should be a serious person. Teresa said as if recalling bad memories, and Kiana was also surprised when she heard it. Wow, it sounds scary. Fortunately, my boss is Aunt Jitsi, who is just waiting to die. Gzi? Are you polite? And all the girls looked at Gzi in unison. On March 7th, the group will open as usual. I didn't expect that you would be such a person in another world, Aunt Jitsi. Hey, I in another world must have her reasons for doing this. Gzi explained in this way. The girls looked away after hearing this. I can't be found in a different world. Boss, do you have another self in this game? Gzi approached Luo Yu and asked in a low voice. Well, we don't have it in this group of people, but it should be there soon in a few days. Luo Yu thought for a while and wanted to destroy the famous Mihui actresses of the 3-star irons, and this Yali Luo has 2, one on the ground and one on the ground, and one on the ground, and even an old villain. As soon as Luo Yu said that, the plot progressed to the point where Brynja tried her best to enlighten Wendy's heart knot, so that Wendy, who was controlled by the longing gem, could calm down and recover, and Wendy also believed in Brynja. But no matter how hard you try, you can't stop the sudden sneak attack of someone who destroys everything. Kakalaya, Brynja, my daughter, the highest authority ordered to arrest the 4th Hairsker, and she cannot be allowed to fall into the hands of destiny. This remark made the plot suddenly reversed. Wendy was attacked by the gentle Brynja, who raised her weapon, and her recovered mentality was buried and collapsed by deception. It also made Zilava among them stunned for a moment, thinking that she was dazzled. Kakalaya? Is that the Kakalaya I know? And soon Kakalaya's figure appeared in the video for a moment. Although the clothes were different and the temperament was different, the appearance was almost the same. Why is there that woman in this game? Silva was shocked, she didn't expect to see the woman first instead of seeing the other world. She seems to be worse in this world, and I thought Brynja was an accidental name, which was different from Brynja in this world, but it turned out to be Kakalaya's daughter, so it seems to be the same one. It's just that I didn't expect Kakalaya to find Brynja as her daughter in another world. How much does she like this name or child? Silva finds it difficult to understand. The current plot is exciting enough, but after thinking about it I really want that child, Brynja, to see her undeveloped self in another world. She should be very interested. Everyone has their own concerns, and soon everyone is fighting in the plot. Different from being so relaxed and casual in the game, the Hairsker class, although it is said to be the weakest Hairsker, its strength should not be underestimated. The default Valkyrie of the protagonist group is the simplest B-level Yuzenjia. No, boss, why did you specify the default this time? I'm used to Yae Sakura, and I'm not familiar with these three. Miss Esta has a lot of opinions, she used Yae Sakura very well, why did you change her? How can you win if you change her? It's okay, isn't that how the three of them fight Wendy in the plot? You guys have to experience it too, and you can only appoint Valkyrie to join the battle after clearing the level. Wow, boss, you really have a sinister heart. Be yourself. It's not easy for everyone to come out of the shadow of Devil May Cry. On March 7th, he complained angrily, not because he hated Devil May Cry, but because he couldn't play the boss's cool operation, so he was angry. If he can be as chic as the boss, he will definitely pass the level with his life. Any boss is a child's play. Luo Yu wanted to say something, but Haida stood up first beside him. Give it a try just to test the results of my Devil May Cry game. Ms. Black Tower said and soon entered the battle. The runaway Wendy fought entirely by instinct, gusts of wind swept in, and the entire venue was filled with strong air currents, making it almost impossible to see where Wendy was. But the Black Tower remained calm under such harsh circumstances, after all, it has experienced similar situations in Devil May Cry. And sure enough, seeing the target standing still like a little white mouse, Wendy suddenly appeared from the airflow and attacked with a wind knife. Just when Wendy was about to wipe the enemy's neck and kill him with one blow, suddenly the figure turned over and almost dodged the attack in a nick of time, triggering a time-space break. The backhand draws the gun, bang bang bang, shoots continuously and then kicks out, and the time break ends at the same time. As soon as Wendy regained consciousness, she found that she was kicked out. Kaslana's spear fighting technique feels similar to Dante's. It's not as difficult as Dante's. Suddenly, I feel that the difficulty of Honkai III is so easy. The Black Tower made an evaluation. Chapter 35. After operating the Black Tower, I feel that I may have played too much Devil May Cry, and the skills and abilities given by Honkai III are too rich, which led to the current situation. Devil May Cry's skill trigger mechanism is simply devilish, while Benson is too friendly. The above is only the current evaluation of the Black Tower. And Wendy seemed to go berserk when she was hit with 30% of her health left. Humans, hypocritical humans, go to hell. Flying into the sky, with a wave of his hand, the huge eye of the storm on the ground formed a violent air current and tore Kiana under the control of the Black Tower. I can't move. The eye of the storm restricts movement, while Wendy flies into the air, condensing dozens of wind blades whizzing towards her, and the air is visibly cut by the naked eye. The solution to this can only be QTE, the human cut dodge triggers the time-space dodge in one go, and the backhand Brynja summons a small gravitational black hole to pull down the attack and Wendy who is flying in the air. And Haida caught Wendy's lowering moment and cut Mei Yi, and successfully broke Wendy's defense by leaping into the air, spinning and slashing 4 times, and was unable to defend for a while. It's now, Amaterasu. After a huge amount of lightning energy condensed from Yai's Miao Dao lightning soul, a bottom-up saber light flew out, and all of the thunder and lightning saber light hit Wendy's body suddenly, and the hit blood bar dropped rapidly, and soon only under the residual blood. This seems to be much simpler. Looking at the easy-to-operate Black Tower on March 7th, she thought it was quite simple, at least these moves would just depend on the timing. Benson can switch characters with QTE, and the fighting methods of the 3 people take turns to cooperate. This kind of battle is basically much easier than that of a single protagonist. However, Wendy entered the final stage with only 1/10 of her HP left. Suddenly, a terrifying airflow erupted from her body and broke free from the black hole, and 5 or 6 violent tornadoes surrounded her around her. It's really difficult, I will send you to hell. Wendy is hiding in the airflow, Brynja's control skills don't work, and long-range cannon attacks will be torn apart by the airflow, but Wendy can separate dozens of spiraling tornadoes from the violent tornado it flew directly towards the face. And this kind of attack on the Black Tower can only be avoided at the right time, and wait for an opportunity to counterattack after dodging in time and space. Procrastinate, there is a way if you hold on. This is actually the case too. Although Wendy is the Hersker of the Wind, the power she controls might not be stronger than that of Chong Kong City's Mei Yi. Soon, her body could not hold on, and she could not continue to maintain such a huge tornado. The storm gradually dissipated. And soon entered a cut scene. Damn, it's really difficult. Difficulty is my greatest strength, and I can still fight all day long. Just as Kiyuna said that, it turned out that anti-entropy didn't pay attention to martial arts and directly attacked. Not only Wendy was knocked out and taken away, but Brynja gave the highest authority command to attack Wendy again and captured Mei, who was weak in the battle, by the way. Black Duck is basically invincible in the early stage of the protagonist trio. With the control of the black hole's aura and suppressed firepower, it is impossible to fight the duck and duck if the strength does not exceed the S level. Sirin inside. To the Hersker of the Void, ordinary black holes are nothing at all, only Walter Young's is still somewhat threatening. But the Destiny troops approached quickly, and Kokolaya had no chance. After catching 2, she failed to catch Kiyuna, leaving the strongest and most potential one behind. After finishing the 3rd chapter, the difficulty of the Black Tower seems average. It feels like the strength of the Hersker of the Wind is just that. Is this the strength of the Hersker? Haida's words made Luo Yu react. Oh, I want to call Hersker, simple arrangement, isn't this issue of Abyss going to be settled, and a new issue will be opened soon? Speaking of the Abyss in this issue, the first place is of course Krypton Gold's Esther. With a set of 5-star stigmata and fragments, Yanba, who has been upgraded to SS level with 926 points, directly won the first place. And the Black Tower used the protagonist trio's B-level Valkyries all with a set of basic 4-star stigmata plus weapons and superb coordination to get the second 886 points. The 3rd place is Walter Yang. With Brynja's Black Core S level and an S level stigmata Schrödinger and 2 4-star stigmata, he scored 880 points, which is basically 6 points behind the Black Tower. Using only one character. Honkai III is very free, with a maximum of 3 people. It depends on how you are used to it. The gap in the early stage may not be very large. The stigmata can make up for it, and the main reason is that it is difficult to obtain the stigmata temporarily. Others can't afford it, so it's like this. And the reward for the first place in the original Sin is 450 crystals for the whole process, and the second place is 400, the third is 350, and the rest only need to clear the customs and unify the 300 water, that is, if the ranking is too low, the bonus points are too little eligibility to enter the deeper layers of the Abyss. Rewards set by Luo Yu himself, for example, the top 3 players will be able to fight the Abyss of Pain next time, and the rewards will be doubled, and the difficulty will also be doubled. Reward settlement, everyone is very happy to see more crystals in the account. And this update also released a new S-level character, the Ghost Armor of the Queen of Thunder, which is the first generation of charging treasure. The captain's skill will increase the initial SP of teammates by 50. Whether it is necessary for the Abyss or the battlefield, if you don't have one, you should find a friend to help you. For Miss Esta, a new character has appeared, so how can she stop charging money? Looking at Ghost Armor's cool big moves and combat methods, his eyes lit up when he thought of his set of 4-star Edison Stigmata and the captain's skill start plus SP. As the gameplay progressed, Esta became more and more aware of the benefits of using the big move early, and that SP can be said to be very important. 50 at the beginning of the game is better than others hitting the enemy more than 20 times in the game, or breaking time and space several times, but no matter whether it is the battlefield or the Abyss, time is the score, and time is the money crystal. Boss, here are 3648s. Esta directly smoked without hesitation. The 99 players in the store I saw were terrified. Good guy, Missy is asking for Krypton Gold again. I'm so envious. Although the station master Esther's skills are mediocre, she suppressed Mr. Haida with her rich Krypton Gold. At this time, Haida also took out two 648s to Krypton Gold. And why didn't the Black Tower have Krypton Gold in the last issue? It's simply because Haida asked Luo Yu in detail. Based on the relationship between the two, Haida can be regarded as his girlfriend and half-wife. So I just said bluntly that Krypton Gold is just a momentary pleasure now. This is just a first generation of stigmata, there will be a second generation, a third generation, etc. If you want it, it will be similar, there is no need to spend money for the current stigmata. And the characters are even more so. The following characters are all supermodel monsters. Now, with the technology, the difference between 4-star and 5-star stigmata is not very big. Characters spend money on the line. As for the consulting fee, it is natural to do some happy things between couples. Chapter 36. The happy time is always short, as Luo Yu closes at 12 o'clock in the evening, and Silva returns to her shop. I'm still thinking about my experience today. I thought it was just a novel storefront, but it turned out to be a magical store for visitors from outsider. You can experience the power of various characters and their stories. When you finally leave, you can watch yourself open up a new life and increase your strength. Silva feels that this is a small treasure shop. While thinking about it, the store door was opened, and a handsome and tired Jeopard walked in. Sister, I'm back. Although tired, Jeopard still greeted the pretty sister at the bar. Why are you back today? Have the world-shattering monsters stopped recently? Zilwa used to work in the Silvermane Iron Guard, and she knows the work of her brother very well. This is a daily question. No, Lord Brynja took over my position temporarily and asked me to come back and take a rest. Brynja? That child is really hard. I saw her running back and forth across Baloberg, and the dark circles under her eyes couldn't be covered at all. Yes, Lord Brynja is really an excellent guardian successor, but it's a pity that Baloberg is gradually being eaten away by the rift, and people's living space is getting scarcer, although I trust Lord Brynja very much, but maybe even she can't cope with the predicament of the cracking world. No matter how good the air is, it is difficult to continue when the building is about to collapse. Jeopard's expression became more and more solemn. So, how about casualties? This question made Jeopard's expression more solemn, and most of his tiredness disappeared. Casualties should have been avoided. I always firmly believe that the Great Guardian is a person who loves this city, but she always seems to be insecure in commanding tasks. Maybe the Great Guardian has her considerations, and it is also me. Dozens of comrades were injured or killed due to lack of ability. Humph. It's not your problem, brother. That woman, Kakalaya, is addicted to vegetables. The situation that was supposed to be a sure win has turned into a mess in her hands. If it weren't for you, there would be more casualties. I'm afraid it's not just the star gods. Only when she has that kind of strength can her terrible battle plan succeed. Zilwa commented on her former best friend without saying a word. Master Brynja is already preparing to explain this matter to Lord Kakalaya, and I hope that Lord Brynja can take full command. Look, you don't even believe your own words. That woman may manage well, but the command is really messed up. Fortunately, Brynja didn't lead badly. Shilava complained mercilessly, but when she said this, she quickly thought of something. By the way, brother, there is a new store next door. You can improve your strength by playing games. Isn't it just that you are not strong enough? Go and try it. Jeopard. Playing games, can you improve your strength? Jeopard seemed to have heard the absurd statement that he could eat his fill while lying in bed, but because his sister said it himself, he didn't refute it immediately. Could it be that, sister, have you tried it? Of course, I spent some money there and played for 8 hours before I came back and found that I had awakened a new destiny. My strength has increased a lot and I have learned a lot of new abilities. I like it very much. The boss is very kind. Enthusiastic about a handsome guy, he is super good at playing games, and there are so many talents in the store. Where are we going tomorrow? By the way, this branch just opened yesterday. Speaking of this, Silva didn't feel sleepy anymore, and he just talked about what he had seen and heard. It didn't feel like a lie to Jeopard, but his 3 views still felt a little unbelievable. If that's the case, my sister can use the ability you learned from where to play 2 tricks with me. I'll see how you learn, sister. Okay, you don't have to hold back, just use your weapon and hit it in the head. Seeing the provocative posture of his sister Silva, who didn't know where he learned it, although Jeopard respected his sister, he felt an inexplicable anger in his heart, so he was a little surprised when he took out a heavy weapon like a guitar case. What's going on? How could I be irritated by this aggressive method? When Jeopard felt something was wrong, Silva made another provocative move. My stupid brother, you are not afraid, are you? Your sister and I have already surpassed you in strength, and your few shining points have become unworthy of praise. These words made the thread in Jeopard's heart collapse, and he took up the weapon and smashed it down without hesitation. Jeopard had already regained his senses the moment he hit it, but it was too late. However, the scene where my sister was thrown into the air didn't happen. Instead, I felt that I had hit a wall. I only saw Zilava making a simple movement of blocking his arm, but I don't know what kind of force was used to successfully block his attack. Smash it with all your strength. In fact, Zilava's heart was a little bit drummed at the beginning, but with the provocation, the feeling of Dante in the game came, and then a very silky provocative defense was successful. With the shock of Silva's arm, the thunder and lightning burst out, and Jeopard was shocked back several steps and almost hit the door before stopping. How is this possible? Doesn't my sister use the guitar with weak defense? When did the defense become so strong? No, could it be this? Haha, what's the matter, brother? I don't believe your sister. I really haven't cleaned up for a long time. You don't know where the majesty of your sister is. Zilava was also very pleasantly surprised. After all, since she grew up, she couldn't beat her younger brother more and more, so she had to hit him as early as possible, but now she felt that she could regain her sister's dignity. Okay, it seems that I am still short-sighted. I will ask my sister to take me to see it tomorrow. Jeopard is not a rigid person, and after realizing that he was wrong, he accepted this incredible fact graciously. And if it is true, then the Silvermane Iron Guards of your own team can also try it out. If the Silvermane Iron Guards have an older sister, the survivability of this skill will be greatly improved. Jeopard almost stayed up all night, and got up early in the morning to wait at the door of the store, and by the way brought a few cronies who had also been replaced to rest. Seeing Jeopard, the silver-maned Iron Guard standing in front of a store inevitably attracted many people's attention. And Luo Yu was probably the most unexpected. When you open the door early in the morning, you will see the silver-maned Iron Guard standing neatly outside the door, no less than the police uncle waiting at your door. The first impression is that the crime has been discovered? Then Luo Yu thought about it. He didn't do anything, he had never seen Kakalaya, or he was discovered by the Star Core consciousness. Chapter 37 Devil May Cry shows people obsessively, even if they may not be able to learn it. While Luo Yu was still thinking wildly, Jeopard also saw Luo Yu who opened the door. He looked younger than himself, and he didn't feel like he was a gentleman. My sister said that the shop owner was sent by the order of the star gods, so she can only say that people should not be judged by their appearance. Hi, good morning, boss. Seeing that Silva was also coming, Luo Yu nodded. Are you here to play games? Luo Yu asked calmly. Yeah, this is my younger brother Jeopard, the guard of the Silvermane Iron Guard. He just finished his work and took a break. I recommend them to come to your store to relax. I see, welcome, please come in. Luo Yu breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't want to expose it prematurely. The fact of this planet is best resolved by his own people, and he just added a channel for them to improve themselves. After entering, Jeopard felt that this place was quite novel, so he looked here and there. The boss opens 4 seats and activates 3 servings of Devil May Cry. First, let's have 4 cups of red bean milk tea to help them warm up. Red bean milk tea. Then Jeopard was puzzled, but since his sister said it, just wait. The 2 cronies around me also had no objection, and were also curious about the magic here, but they were intimidated when they saw the price above. What kind of store is it that is so expensive? And it doesn't accept Winter City Shield, only Xingsheng. Sitting in their respective positions, looking at the computer screen with glasses, they still have some doubts. The milk tea is ready. Silva brought 4 cups of milk tea for each person. Jeopard didn't care about the milk tea. Sister, where are we going to learn your flash skills from yesterday? Don't worry about it, drink milk tea first to relieve your fatigue from fighting for such a long time, and then open that Devil May Cry game. Oh, I see. Jeopard took a sip of milk tea, and the sweetness and mellow aroma of red beans filled his taste buds at the moment of entrance. The reaction was basically the same as that of Silva. After all, there was not much space in Yalalo. By then, eating would be a problem, let alone living space. This kind of milk tea is indeed delicious, and what's even more amazing is that most of the fatigue left in my body from the long-term battle during this period has disappeared. There are still such delicious drinks in this world. It's really great. I feel that the lumber disc left by my battle is not so protruding. This drink actually has such a magical effect. The two cronies also praised it greatly, not for anything else, at least this cup of milk tea is worth a visit, and although the price is a bit expensive for them, it's okay for Chief Jeopard to treat them. It does look like a magical storefront. Of course, everything in the boss's store has a long history. The Devil May Cry game and milk tea are all provided by Xing Shen. This store is named after Xing Shen, so the value is not expensive. Instead, don't buy it. Use your time to train yourself in the game and protect our last city of preservation together. As we talked about practical issues. Yes. In the name of Kunhu. Luo Yu. How can you play games so seriously? Luo Yu complained, ready to eat breakfast. After all, yesterday was too busy and tired. Playing games is also very energy consuming. And Jeopard basically felt the same as Silva. He was shocked to see the way of fighting at the beginning of Devil May Cry, and tried it himself. It may be that Jeopard also has the talent for the great sword, or the weapon in his hand is basically similar to the great sword. He even feels that the great sword with both hands is a bit light, and he can hold it with one hand. After killing all the monsters in the office, I feel quite adapted to the game. And it was a bit of a stalemate after hitting the God of Death all the way. As a lifesaver, Jeopard may have a better understanding of flash defense, and he can basically block it 8 out of 10 times. But I always feel that there is too much distance from the perfect flash effect that my sister said. And the two cronies also have a certain talent for saving fate, and they are still fighting outside the office after leaving the office. And Silva is already fighting the hell three-headed dog. After 8 hours of training yesterday, Silva has achieved a perfect flash effect almost once out of a dozen times, and it is no longer impossible to practice, and her training object is the hell three-headed dog. This monster's attack is still very frequently. I have been hanged by this guy no less than 30 times, but she hasn't learned yet another airborne skill taught by Luo Yu. But after a flash of proficiency, she was already able to fight with the Hellhound. And Jeopard noticed the ebony and white ivory double guns. Speaking of which, the Silvermane Iron Guard also has a similar weapon, but this one seems to be a magic weapon, and it doesn't need bullets to inject its own power into firing. Perhaps we can also try to research this, so that the weapon performance of the Silvermane Iron Guard will be stronger. After Luo Yu finished his meal, 2 more people appeared outside the door. Morning boss, are you playing Devil May Cry today? It was Kafka who came in, and now she wanted to learn the moves in Devil May Cry, especially when she saw the Quicksilver style and another unlocked style on the panel. Presumably it was a more advanced special ability. Well, live broadcast today. After Luo Yu helped Kafka's second daughter turn on her phone, she also posted it in the internet cafe group, and the group of Liao and Liao suddenly became lively. March 7th, the boss is live broadcasting today. It's great. When? I can't wait. Esta, boss, can you teach me some simple ones? I can't learn the difficult ones. Okay, wait for me to start broadcasting. Luo Yu said and turned on the live broadcast. I'll teach you some simple tricks before you beat the next level. The internet cafes are all watching at the moment, watching the show with a bunch of melon seeds, cola, and snacks. And Jeopard was also watching after being pulled over by his sister. It just so happens that the boss is broadcasting live, so watch and learn from the boss's operations, and benefit a lot. Jeopard nodded, wanting to see what kind of operation would make the old lady highly respected. And Luo Yu found 3 elite monsters while chatting with the barrage. Slashing with a knife, followed by a million stabs, the arm convulsed and stabbed countless sword shadows in an instant, stomping the monster on the ground with one foot and shooting wildly. The monsters behind were ready to sneak attack, but at the same time, they used the monsters as skateboards to avoid the attack, and slipped back to knock the monster skateboard that had become a corpse, knocking the other monster to the ground, and then continued to rush forward with swordsmanship to follow up, a million stabs to break up the airs, pick up, double gun storm shooting, step shooting, monster skateboard. The audience was dazzled by this set of operations. Great boss, recorded the video, watched and learned. As expected of the boss, there are always new tricks. This kind of skillful and cool style of play is so cool, and it's so cool to think about it after learning to show off in front of girls. Chapter 38. Jeopard and his personal guards were stunned watching Luo Yu's operation. Thinking about how he can only hack and slash at the moment, at most he has a bit of talent in the flash, but the boss doesn't need defense at all, and offense is the best defense. Not only that, but the battle is extremely easy. It may take 3 minutes for me, but the boss probably takes less than half a minute. Seeing that there is no brother, regardless of the boss's young age and strong talent, he just doesn't know how strong his shots are in reality. Silva patted the stunned brother and said. And there is another group in the internet cafe group. Learning is useless, study is useless. Thanks to the boss for teaching, the recording never stops and the practice never starts. Let's not talk about it, practice is over, I think he can do this kind of operation with my hands. The chatting in the group was very happy, and after a wave of teaching, Luo Yu took a deep breath and controlled Dante to the top of the magic tower, where a battle with Virgil was inevitable. Look, it's the guy at the beginning of Devil May Cry. It's not like the boss wants to hit this guy, it seems that Dante didn't hit this guy before the video started. The moon was full and bright above the frosty sky, and the moonlight illuminated the top of the magic tower like frost, illuminating two figures with extraordinary temperament. So, this is a so-called cozy family gathering? Hey! Dante still had that cynical attitude. Virgil on the other side looked cold and solemn, like a cold and ruthless demon, and the Yan Mo Deo in his hand seemed to have infinite murderous aura. The moment the sky was overcast and the moonlight was covered by clouds, the wind blew the corners of their clothes. In an instant, the light of Yan Mo Deo covered the moonlight, and it was as cold as frost. With one swing of the knife, the murderous aura was almost suffocating. Dante's dashing and flamboyant combat skills were covered under Virgil's attack. Compared with Dante, Virgil's knife skills are meticulous and methodical. Teleporting, drawing, and withdrawing the sword, it is like an elegant nobleman showing his powerful strength calmly. Such a calm and ruthless man immediately shocked everyone watching the live broadcast. March 7th, my god, there is actually a man more handsome than Dante, he is so handsome. This move is extremely terrifying, an absolute killing technique, this man is very strong, no matter where he is a strong man. Kafka, who was watching in the store, also used Tadeo, and it was amazing to see Virgil's every move. This man's moves are not fancy and showy. Instead, they are two extremes with Dante. The blue windbreaker, the flamboyant hairstyle is meticulous, the fighting is precise and elegant, and the murderous intention suddenly floats calmly. Taking the enemy's head is like picking something out of a bag. It's so handsome, but I don't know if we can control this Dante's brother Virgil. I also want to try his skills. And Luo Yu didn't have time to answer the barrage questions. Although Dante will be defeated by the plot this time, he still has to seriously test his level. At the beginning, the double gun storm suppressed Virgil, followed by a forward charge with the rebellious sword. This move is impossible for ordinary monsters to catch, but Virgil's eyes are indifferent while dodging bullets while teleporting, slightly short, full of energy all over his body. Gathering a little in an instant, Yan Modeo was unsheathed, and the sword broke out in an instant, and the ground on the top of the magic tower was drawn with deep marks, almost instantly deflecting Dante's great sword from the direction. It was the first time for Luo Yu to feel such a huge force. When he retracted the sword instantly, he opened it in a flash. Unsurprisingly, Virgil didn't let go of any flaws. In an instant, there was a dense sound of tinkling and crisp gold and iron colliding. It turned out that Virgil directly started the intensive attack of the phantom sword. If he didn't feel wrong and reacted in advance, it would have been sent. But even so, under the consumption of the phantom sword, Virgil was full of flaws, and at this time Virgil directly slashed Yan Molian just right, with a critical strike, so fierce that the air seemed to be cut. It directly let Luo Yu break through, blood most of the bars disappeared in an instant. This scene stunned the audience even more. March 7th, one wrong step, I didn't expect the boss to be hanged and beaten. Walter Young, it's too strong. After only one move was cracked, Virgil beat him helplessly. No wonder Dante lost to him. Lao Yang pushed his glasses, feeling the fear of this man. Can't fight, that kind of phantom sword can barely defend in a flash, but it's useless to block it, and Virgil behind him is too fast, with consecutive moves, endlessly, and he has a backhand, almost making the audience feel suffocated. The brain has no time to react, and the fighting instinct is deeply imprinted in the body. Devil May Cry talented players such as Black Tower, Kafka, Silver Wolf, and Jeopard all felt terror. How should this man face it? Virgil knows Dante too well, and Dante, who has not awakened and demonized, is not Virgil's opponent at all. Luo Yu tried it and felt that Dante, who was not fully skilled, was no match for Virgil, but he would not give up until the end. Luo Yu's fighting style gradually stabilized. He took out the popsicle and the wind and fire swords, and only fought with Virgil for a few minutes. The audience only felt that they were watching a refreshing blockbuster, frantically eating melons. Dante and Virgil fought, but after all, because he did not have the power of awakened demons, he could not beat Virgil, who pursued his father's power, and instead was stabbed by the family again, but the difference is the rebellious sword used. No way, Dante lost the battle again. The audience found it unacceptable. This is the second defeat. Although Dante may be resurrected after a while, but after thinking about such a cruel Virgil, people don't know where to start to defeat him. Luo Yu was not in a hurry, and was still thanking Virgil. What are you panicking about? We should thank Virgil for the success of the wrong password, and Dante's demonic power has been activated. Luo Yu's words stunned the audience, but the next moment they saw the rebellious sword changed instantly, and Dante, who was pierced by the sword on the ground, suddenly lied to his body, and a terrifying scarlet energy erupted. Such a violent movement instantly attracted Virgil, who was leaving, and subconsciously swung the knife, directly slashing Dante's hand almost in half, but the demonized Dante didn't feel the pain at all, but was extremely fierce. And Virgil temporarily left after being persuaded by the bald head. Originally, he wanted to fight the demonized Dante. Seeing Dante's outburst and the greatly changed rebellious sword, the audience in the live broadcast room was shocked. What is even more surprising is that Luo Yu Dante's panel, the power of demons and the Quicksilver style are all awakened, especially when the audience watched the introduction of the two abilities, they were even more stunned. Mercury style, when using it, everyone except Dante is in an extremely slow time and space. At this time, the attack and movement speed of the enemy is only about 1/10 of the original speed, while Dante's speed remains unchanged. Companion style, after using it, there will be two Dante in the form of a devil, one of them is a shadow, holding Dante's current weapon, and it will not change with the change of Dante's weapon. If the main body keeps the weapon unchanged, the avatar will perform the same actions as the main body. Some special moves and shadows cannot be used, the avatar is in an invincible state, and has the same attack power as Dante. The emergence and activation of these two style abilities immediately made the audience in the live broadcast room no longer know how to evaluate it, probably only invincible. Chapter 39. This power? Is it actually the law of time? Kafka's beautiful eyes suddenly widened. There is also a clone, and it is in an invincible state within the release time. It has the same combat power as the main body. With the previous flash, it can be said that with these skills, the improvement of Dante's combat ability is simply terrifying. The skills of the game Devil May Cry, I must learn it all. Kafka has never been so eager, whether it is Virgil's swordsmanship and strength or Dante's ability, she is very excited. Jeppard also felt that he could hardly sit still. This Dante's man has such terrifying blood power in his body. If we can learn from his body, a little fur on his body can also greatly increase the strength of the Silvermane Iron Guard. Jeppard felt that he might have to spend a lot of money, and let all the experienced Silvermane Iron Guards in his team come to train. By then, the strength to protect Baloberg will be stronger, and the casualties can be minimized. Loberg still has a glimmer of the future. Jeppard was so excited that he almost wanted to inform his players now. The barrage is also carnival, full of applause. This ability is very good, but speaking of it, it seems that Honkai III also breaks time and space, and it seems to feel similar. After being surprised on March 7th, I quickly thought of the space-time break in Honkai III, and it didn't feel so powerful anymore. This is different. Honkai III is the ability of Valkyrie armor. Without armor, you can't actually learn it. You can only learn Honkai's moves and skills. But Devil May Cry is Dante's own skill that can be released actively. It can be learned. Luo Yu saw the barrage on March 7th and answered it. That's great, I feel that with this ability, this girl feels like she can hit 10 at the same time. Looking forward to March 7th, there is a kind of honey confidence. The other players were also cheering, but at this time one of them poured cold water inappropriately. Black Tower, you guys are too happy. Firstly, the premise of obtaining Mercury style is to beat Virgil. Secondly, maybe things are not that simple. The law of time is the most difficult one in the universe. I guess it is very difficult to learn. Have you forgotten the fighting skills taught by the little boss? In summary, the guy who can't hit the top of the magic tower should give up as soon as possible. The words blew like a cold wave, and the bullet screen was empty for a moment, and soon there were pieces of heart piercing on the bullet screen. Esta, Ka, I'm disillusioned, my heart is broken, and I feel like my life is gone. Master Haida is really ruthless, wouldn't it be better for us to stay happy longer to discover this cruel fact by ourselves? Stop talking, I'm out of love, I'm going to draw circles in the corner. Even so, because of the attractiveness of the law of time, a large group of people flocked to activate Devil May Cry, and began the painful journey of being madly tortured by blood in Devil May Cry. Luo Yu stretched his shoulders a bit. During the few minutes of fighting with Virgil just now, his energy was unprecedentedly concentrated. After relaxing after the end, he felt extremely tired. Virgil's combat attainments are too high, and his combat talent is higher than Virgil's in the same level. Not much to say. At this moment, Luo Yu felt his shoulders being held down by a pair of hands. Turning his head, he saw that it was Kafka. Seeing that you are a little tired and help you press your shoulder, how do you feel? Feeling the strength on the shoulders, Luo Yu feels okay, but psychologically, he feels comfortable all over. After all, it is the mother who squeezes the shoulders. In my hometown, there is a saying that if you don't have anything to do, you can be courteous. If you're not you're stealing. You must have come to me to steal something. Of course, Luo Yu would not think that Kafka is naive about something she likes. Kafka, a bad woman, might have something in her mind, she is very mysterious, and she also has speech magic to confuse people's hearts. Boss Luo's hometown is amazing, but I don't like to beat around the bush. To be honest, I want to see Dante's 2 new styles of moves. Can you show me how they are? Kafka's eyes looked forward, her eyes with makeup were full of charm, and the mature aura of Yuji came to her face. Tomorrow. I spent a lot of energy fighting Virgil and I'm a little dizzy now. Luo Yu told the truth, he wouldn't be so serious if he was just fighting other bosses, it wasn't worth it after all. Then is there any way to speed up the recovery? I want to see it today, and you know my identity. I only have a few days to spend. Luo Yu scratched his head, and after thinking about it, he decided to speak up, so he whispered in Kafka's ear. After hearing this, Kafka's eyes froze for a moment, and then quickly showed a little bit of the original expression. It turns out that Boss Luo likes this kind of thing. No wonder he kept staring at me that day. It turned out that he was staring at my legs. It's not a strange interest. That's fine, but I hope you can be the first to teach me after the live broadcast. No problem. Speaking of which, Luo Yu got up, and Kafka sat on the sofa of the computer at the bar. Bring it on. Kafka patted her leg. Then Luo Yu lay on Kafka's lap. The softness, silk stockings, and Kafka's body fragrance made Luo Yu relax quickly. That's right, Luo Yu's request is a knee pillow, which can lie on Kafka's lap to rest and recover naturally and quickly. And Kafka also experienced Luo Yu's game progress at Luo Yu's location, which is also one of the conditions. First, he is familiar with the ability and has a general foundation. Luo Yu wakes up and demonstrates it, and it is easy to understand. And Zilua, who was hungry from the game, was about to order some instant noodles at the front desk to eat together, but saw the scene at the bar. Luo Yu is lying on Kafka's mature big sister's lap pillow and sleeping soundly, while Kafka is experiencing Luo Yu's game progress and is taking the lead in experiencing Dante's new abilities. Ah! What's going on? What happened to the boss? It's okay, the little boss is just tired and resting for a while, do you need anything? Oh, let's poke instant noodles and ham sausage 4 times. Zilua didn't expect this mature beauty to use this method to get the account of Dante, the boss, so quickly. How could she not have thought of it just now? If it was Dante who experienced the boss for a while with the knee pillow replaced, then Silva felt that she could accept it. First change, continue to codeword. Chapter 40. Facts have proved that psychological satisfaction is very important. For example, let the leg control sleep on the knee pillow of a beautiful woman, you will sleep very peacefully, and the recovery speed will naturally be very fast. Of course, going further is naturally better. And Kafka is earnestly experiencing the ability to race against time. These 2 abilities can only be said to be not difficult to use in the game, but it is rare to learn how to learn in reality. This requires synchronization and feeling during use. At this moment, Luo Yu turned over, and Kafka felt her body stiffen for a moment. After all, where is the direction of the stomach? Of course, Luo Yu just rolled over and subconsciously rubbed his legs. This kind of scene is very common, it is used as a pillow, and the chicken coop head that wakes up in the morning is rubbed against the pillow. Luo Yu's sleeping position is already very solid. Kafka also exhaled, feeling that the little boss at least has a good sleeping posture. If he sleeps poorly, he might suffer a lot. It was already noon when he woke up, and Luo Yu felt that his spirit had improved a lot, but his head was a little dizzy. Did you sleep well? Kafka exhaled, feeling that she was finally freed. Her legs were sore, but it was worth it to learn the ability in Devil May Cry. Sorry, I may have slept for a long time. Would you like a cup of red bean milk tea? My treat. Luo Yu scratched his head, looked at the time and felt a little embarrassed. He didn't expect to sleep for so long, and Kafka didn't affect his sleep, so I'm afraid it's not very good now. Well, as long as you rest well, don't forget our agreement. Okay, Luo Yu stretched his neck, but didn't grumble. But this time Kafka sat next to Luo Yu to observe closely, and he has already experienced for a long time and has a certain understanding of Dante's two styles. Now let's see how Luo Yu, the boss, the master of the game, takes a fancy to Lingxi to operate. Needless to say, the boss broadcasted the live broadcast, and soon everyone in the internet cafe came to watch, regardless of whether they played games or not. By the way, Luo Yu also opened the function of rewarding gifts. The player who scored 3 points scored 7 points, he was already very conscientious. Soon the live broadcast room flooded in, the well-known Miss Esta entered the live broadcast room. Star Train Navigator GZI enters the live broadcast room. Alejado standing on the top, Walter Young, enters the live broadcast room. Star enters the live room. The most beautiful girl in the universe entered the live broadcast room on March 7. Black Tower enters the live broadcast room. Electromechanical enthusiast Zillua enters the live broadcast room. Save Jeopard into the live broadcast room. Genius hacker Silverwolf enters the live broadcast room. The influx of many acquaintances and the entry of various players made Luo Yu's barrage in the live broadcast room very fast. Esta, hey? Has the boss finally opened the reward function? The minimum gift is a flower of 0.01 stars, and the maximum is a star destroyer of 1000 stars. Esther presented manager Luo with 100 flowers. The boss finally launched a live broadcast. Hurry up, show off your latest skills, the more handsome you are, the more rewards you get. On March 7, boss Luo presented 10 flowers. The boss is finally alive. After fighting Virgil in the morning, there will be no one left. Hurry up and show some latest fighting skills to forgive you. Omega. Hey, it took too much energy to fight Virgil in the morning, and you will understand when you face Virgil. Boss, you think highly of us. I haven't fought a Cerberus yet. Same, the difficulty is outrageous, can't you lower it a bit? Seeing how easy the boss is playing, it turned out that I couldn't play that kind of operation at all when I tried it. Luo Yu can only say that he is not paying attention if he can't beat it, and he can always beat it after 2.5 years of practice. Chatting with the barrage came to the palace. The monsters here are the most 16+. The door opened, and hundreds of bats flew by, and as it rotated, a beautiful bat witch gradually appeared. The clothes were all made of bats, and the hair on the ear temples fell down happily, becoming the only cover for the upper body. Ah, this! How can this woman be so shameless? March 7 hurriedly covered her eyes, only to feel her face turn red. This dress is really avant-garde and bold, and only those fallen witches dare to play like this. GZI made such an evaluation. After all, she was UG, and this kind of scene was very calm. Strange clothes, the clothes are made of monsters, so if the monster is killed, won't there be no clothes? The Black Tower is curious about this design. But men are different. This design is simply a genius. With these temptations, the battle will probably be more desperate and long-lasting. It's great, I want to play Devil May Cry just because of this, and practice every move seriously from today. Both Jeopard and Walter Young didn't see it, but in the plot, Dante smiled charmingly at the invitation feast of the Bat Witch, lifted his pants, and when he thought he was going to stab someone down, he directly pulled out the rebellious sword behind him. Stab someone. Sword finger Bat Witch. Come on, young man. The battle begins. Luo Yu's expression became serious. Bat Witch's strength is still very strong. The same goes for Kafka, watch carefully. She used Luo Yu's account to fight this witch, and it was very terrifying. Whether it was lightning, the witch's laser kill, or the bat's devouring speed, it was too fast to hide. And the mercury style only takes a few seconds, and it takes a long time to cool down, and the devil needs energy, so it is almost impossible to connect. And after working so hard to hit this woman in the final stage, she would actually suck blood, and her attack speed was so fast that she couldn't beat her at all. Kafka can only see how Luo Yu handles it. The Bat Witch's bat thunderballs flew continuously, and Luo Yu did not rush to dodge in an instant, with a backhand double gun rainstorm design. The coat on Bat Witch's body fluctuated and trembled. It can be said that the bat coat is the main body, and it is over after the fight is over, but the disadvantage is that the Bat Witch is basically an energized existence, and the damage of physical attacks is very small. In this regard, Luo Yu directly switched to the popsicle, a high-frequency attack of a large whirlwind, an instant short-term freezing, and then a storm shot and then quickly moved sideways. At the next moment, the bat on the witch's body turned and thunder and lightning erupted violently. Luo Yu took a step back and drew his gun to continue shooting. Luo Yu followed closely after the thunder and lightning became reality. If everyone hits here, try to catch up with her and fight, but don't be greedy, take your time. Luo Yu said that the flames were swirling around the field where the wind and fire twin knives were already dancing, and then quickly dodged in the next moment. The witch once again exploded with lightning. Ah! Why did the boss chase her and beat her? Can't I grind her to death with a gun from a long distance? Long distance? Since you want to see it, try it. As Luo Yu said, he controlled Dante to retreat quickly, almost reaching the door, but the witch quickly released a white light covering the whole field. This move was almost a killer move, as if the last moment of the end of the world. And this move was extremely fast, and it could be blocked in a flash, but she wanted to see what Luo Yu would do. Chapter 41. Kafka watched carefully, while Luo Yu was at the highest level of energy at this time. Under the laser attack of almost the whole picture, Luo Yu accumulated strength in almost the next moment. At the moment of demonization, the terrifying magic power erupted instantly, accompanied by a flash of power. The two superimposed, like a volcanic eruption, all the magic power accumulated before erupted at this moment. The magic power is like a raging torrent, and everyone can only see the red and white light explode on the screen. Immediately afterwards, the red light shrank, and the burst of magic power was withdrawn after only a moment, and the devil mode was released. And when the audience didn't look at the witch again, they found that she had fallen to the ground with almost only 1/10 of her last blood left. Kafka, who watched from a close distance, only felt incredible, and doubts appeared in his heart again. What kind of move is this? You must know that the witch's blood volume was almost 90% before this, but after this move, she was almost disabled. The audience in the live broadcast room originally thought that there would be a stalemate back and forth fighting for a long time, but when the current scene was released, there was a sudden silence, and the barrage stopped for a moment before they quickly expressed doubts. What kind of operation is this? Such incredible power! If the previous perfect flash was shocking enough, then the magical flash would be even more exaggerated. My god, what kind of skill is this? Why can the boss always come up with new tricks? What is this? I want to learn too. The barrage quickly swiped the screen, but at this time the screen was quickly filled with a huge star destroyer. The well-known Miss Esther rewarded store manager Luo with a star destroyer. Boss, what kind of skill is this? It's so hot in Thai pants. Can you teach me a lesson? Luo Yu saw Miss Esta's tip in a bunch of barrages where the boss was arrogant and the boss was confused. Thank you Miss Esta for the reward, the boss is generous and in good health. After standard thanks, Luo Yu coughed lightly and began to explain. This is the flash of magic explosion. It is an advanced version of flash after Dante awakened the power of demons. The burst of magic power is added to the flash, which is much more powerful than the perfect flash. Of course, the difficulty is almost increased, that is, the perfect flash and the magic explosion, the specific difficulty needs to be explored by yourself. Boss, can we use it in reality? Esther suddenly remembered and asked again. As long as you have a stronger second form in reality, you can imitate the magic explosion. You just need to feel how the energy is operated. It doesn't matter if the nature of the power is different. As Luo Yu said, he thought of Honkai III, maybe the 13 heroes of Honkai III can also use this ability in an instant in the second form of the artificial collapse. We don't have a stronger form anymore, it's over. Esta was disappointed in an instant, and she was already practicing hard in a flash. If she worked tirelessly for a while, even if her hands were disabled, it would be fine, but if there is no way, then it is truly hopeless. This is not necessarily the case. Everyone has activated the life path of the game, right? As long as the destiny is stronger than our original destiny, we can also achieve a similar situation by releasing the power of moves learned in the store after activation. Although Ms. Haida threw cold water at the critical moment, her words cheered people up at this moment. That's right. Ms. Haida is right, we don't have a second form, so we can play games to open the second form by ourselves. I have another reason to play games, let alone, Devil May Cry continues to be beaten. The audience was talking, and Luo Yu quickly used the final Quicksilver style to stop the monster and then opened the clone to take away the vampire witch without injury. And the witch gradually turned into a weapon. A guitar. Dante looked at the guitar filled with lightning and thought it was a very explosive electric rock. When Jeppard first saw this weapon, he thought of his sister, so he tilted his head and glanced at her. Zillowa said that her DNA had moved, and she hummed a song following the voice, which was very nice. Immediately, my heart was moved. I didn't expect there to be someone like me who uses a guitar as a weapon. It's amazing. I'm sure about this witch. The dark purple Thunderbolt guitar fits perfectly with the Thunderbolt attribute of Sylva's blue-purple style, which is really a coincidence. And Luo Yu also showed the way of fighting with the guitar. Basically, it can hit people, but at most it is a magic weapon. Playing the guitar triggers dense and irregular thunder and lightning to cover the audience, as if dancing to the rhythm. This trick is called lightning dance. Sylva listened to Luo Yu explaining the crazy heartbeat, and soon had an idea in her heart. Players spent the abuse and pain of Devil May Cry, and on the third day, even Yalilo's shop was lively. Because Jeppard directly brought all the resting Silvermane Iron Guards. He only played for 8 hours yesterday. Not only did he start a new life, but he also went further in the preservation and protection. He felt that he could beat the two of himself yesterday, and his strength doubled. More to say, playing games to relax time can also improve strength, where in the world is there such a good thing? So many Silvermane Iron Guards playing games have attracted the attention of many people in Bel-Oberg, and many people with a keen sense of smell have already gone to inquire about the news. Bel-Oberg is not big, and soon the big guardians knew about it. The small shop opened by the visitor from beyond the sky seems to be from other star god forces. Do you want to take action? The cool and beautiful guardian Kokolaya seems to be talking to someone. As long as they don't clearly threaten us, don't worry about it. I feel that another group of people are coming, and they are not kind. Surveillance interviews them and asks their purpose. If there is a threat to us, you know what to do. The general meaning of the voice echoed in my heart like this. The emergence of a new world does not require the appearance of any intervener, and the only intervener is a cold corpse. At the same time, the star train has stopped over Yali Luo. It's finally here. I didn't expect that the Star Corps made our next stop happen to be Boss Luo's new store. Although March 7th can teleport to the space station to play games at any time, it is naturally better to be able to come to Luo Yu's new store. The frozen planet, it seems that a huge change has happened here. I don't understand why that person chose to open a new store here. And Jitsi glanced at Xingmei, and had a vague guess in his heart, and Xingmei had always cared about that man, and she might be very cheerful in other places, but in front of that man, he was as honest and well-behaved as a child meeting his parents. Chapter 42. As in the plot, the train team sent Dan Heng, March 7th and Seeing to complete the Star Corps mission, but Gzi and Walter Yang did not stay on the train, but came to Luo Yu's shop instead. Boss, I haven't seen you for a while, I didn't expect you to have so many people here. Looking at the silver-maned Iron Guard and many citizens in the store, Luo Yu smiled and said. What a coincidence, I didn't expect you to come here too. Find a place to sit and have a cup of red bean milk tea by the way to get rid of the cold. Thanks, by the way, boss, when will the latest plot of Honkai III be updated? Oh, this one, it's coming soon, it will be available in the afternoon, and there will be several chapters in one update, enough for you to have a deeper understanding of the plot. Luo Yu has actually finished it, and even got the Queen's Advent, so it's not too soon to take care of the experience time for new players and old players. After all, there are generations of gods. After all, no one can resist the fact that I haven't played for a few days. And here Silva came over, chatting with Luo Yu about something. Ah, it's not impossible, since you don't mind, and I like it too, that's fine. The issues discussed by Silva and Luo Yu are basically the same as those of Kafka. The knee pillow is exchanged for the experience time of Luo Yu's account, and also to teach the skills of using the weapon. This time, Luo Yu first taught him how to operate the guitar. The guitar seems ordinary, but the weapons transformed by the boss become more and more powerful, and the attack methods of the guitar are more than the moves of the rebellious sword. They are strumming, dance of lightning, song of lightning, forward bat lightning ball, playing in the air. There are also floating lightning in the state of the devil, and the poisonous dragon drill. Silva was dazzled by such a rich fighting style, and only felt that the Thai pants were hot. It is really worthwhile to learn so many guitar skills with this knee pillow. The boss is really a genius. I feel that you can do everything, especially in this game. What you are familiar with is the same as what you designed. Ahem, it's just that I played it relatively early. I will test it before it is released. The game master will give it to me for evaluation. Silva didn't know that she actually told the truth unintentionally, but after hearing Luo Yu's explanation, she understood. But it's still very good, you just played for a while longer than us. Faced with this kind of praise, Luo Yu could only accept it. And continue to lie on the sofa and enjoy the knee pillow, and then I have to say that the upper area of Yalilo is really a good place. Many important characters in the upper layer of Yalilo on the Star Dome Railway are black pantyhose, and the texture is like black chocolate, which is very good. While the Luo Yu store was still operating normally, the protagonist and his party met Sangbo after some plots, but they didn't meet the Silvermane Iron Guard. After all, Japard was still crazily tortured and honed himself in Devil May Cry. Most of the Silvermane guards were also brought in to play games. Sangbo saw that the three protagonists said that they have something good to introduce, which is very magical, and can even improve their strength and obtain a new destiny, and he intends to collect money for this information. Many internet cafe residents came in because of this guy. Of course, it turned out that the shop was real, but the price was much higher than what Sangbo said. Obviously, he was charged an agency fee. But Sangbo's methods today are useless. What you guys don't know is the Game Master Internet Cafe. After listening to it for a while on March 7th, I understood that this is the important news from this guy. You know? Wouldn't it be better to know? I'll show you the way for free. Sangbo was a little surprised. He didn't expect that these guys who looked like outsiders would have heard of it, but he followed the good advice, changed his words, and didn't mention what happened just now. This person is really good, no wonder he came out to be an information dealer. Star Sister commented so. It doesn't matter, go find the boss quickly. The three of them had a smooth journey, but they were stopped by a short girl with glasses when they entered the city on the way. Black silk legs, about 1.6 meters tall, with a delicate and cute face, but also a little nerd-like seriousness. You are outsiders. The Great Guardian invites you to ask about things. If you have no objections, come with me. This girl is Para. Without Japard, in the end, someone continued to bring the protagonist and his party to the Great Guardian's Krippur fort. At the same time, Brynja was presenting information about the battle against the leaking world monster, and hoped that her mother, the Silvermane Iron Guard, would be in charge of fighting against the leaking world monster. She should not have to pay such a large number of casualties. But Kakalaya was already in a daze at this time, or maybe she did it on purpose. In short, she didn't agree. Instead, the topic was postponed because of the arrival of the protagonist and his party. None of them were very happy, and left angrily after taking a look without saying hello. And just like the plot, the protagonist answered Kakalaya's question, and when he learned that he was coming towards the Star Core, Kakalaya began to play dumb, answered perfunctorily and pretended to be calm, and arranged for the three of them to stay in the highest hotel after expressing their sincerity. Rest to stabilize the three of them. After the three left, Kakalaya heard Star Core's words. I understand, let them sleep for the last time tonight, and invite them to die tomorrow. Kakalaya's eyes were cold. But she arranged for the three protagonists, but the three went directly to the internet cafe of the Game Master. At the door, a large group of silver-maned iron guards walked out, and March 7th passed by Japard, took a look, and then separated. Hi. Boss, we are here. After entering the door on March 7th, he went to the bar to say hello, only to see Luo Yu sleeping on the lap of the familiar Sister Silva, who seemed to be sleeping soundly. The boss finally doesn't intend to hide his perverted personality? Sure enough, I doubt that this person might have done something to you when you were unconscious. From the perspective of March 7th, the behavior of sleeping on a woman's lap is basically too bad, and normal people sleep on pillows anyway. Xingmei just smiled awkwardly and politely, as if she didn't care. And Zilua heard the voice and came back from practicing guitar. Oh? March 7th, there are stars, it's you, why are you here? Of course I came to your place for a trip. I didn't expect that our next stop would be your place. It's a fate. It's really a fate. You are not familiar with it when you come here for the first time. I will take you here tomorrow to familiarize yourself with it. I am quite familiar with Belloberg. After the happy exchange, it was another game journey. At the same time, on the other side, Jeffard received the task of replacing Brynja's post as the Ripper monster. Chapter 43. Jeffard accepted the replacement task, not only did not feel heavy, but he was eager to try one by one. My lord, this Game Master Internet Cafe is really as magical as in the legend. I feel that the strength of this destiny feedback has tripled my strength. 3 times, it's too little. I feel like I've multiplied 5 times. I can fight 10 of that kind of world breaker monster by myself. It's nothing more than a world breaker monster. Our team has gone to join Lord Jeopard, and we will kill as many as we can. If it was the former team members, Jeopard would definitely stop it, but now he doesn't, because his strength has only increased greatly in the past 2 days, and the confidence brought by his strength made Jeopard's voice more firm. Silvermane Iron Guard, come with me to suppress the crack monsters and protect our last living space, Belloberg. Follow orders. At this time, Brynja's battle is already very difficult, the number of monsters in the world has increased, and a big guy has appeared in it. There are nearly 100 simple rift creations here, as well as dozens of eternal winter calamity shadows and fire-burning calamity shadows that imitate the appearance of Silvermane Iron Guards, but they are just miscellaneous fish, and Brynja is watching the monster group closely, the largest deep cold prowler among them. This monster's destructive power is very strong, and it is very big, and its defense is strong. It is a mechanical creation. But now, this monster directly condensed a huge ice attribute blade in its hand and turned it quickly. Everyone be careful, I'm here to wish you a helping hand. Brynja hurriedly provided boosts to her teammates, and then the guards around Brynja resisted the big guy's blow together. After holding on for a while, they resisted, but Brynja felt that her physical strength was getting stronger. Being consumed, and that big guy is tireless and can carry out countless attacks. If he can't kill this guy, the whole army will be wiped out. Destroy them. Brynja once again boosted her teammates, and the shooters of the Silvermane Iron Guard shot the Abyss Prowler with jingling sparks, but they were of general use. This monster is highly resistant to ice, and Brynja's wind element can only be said to have no advantage at all. And the deep cold prowler issued an order again, and more monsters from the world were summoned behind him. No, if this continues, the entire army will be wiped out, or we can retreat while fighting, but the mission assigned by Mother this time will fail. Brynja is torn between saving the life of the Silvermane and the mission, but with the rift monsters attacking at the behest of the deep cold prowler, Brynja has no choice. Silvermane Iron Guards, in order to protect and defeat them. Brynja gritted her teeth, directly amplified dozens of Silvermane Iron Guards, and raised her gun to gather strength to shoot. The bullets were enchanted with the energy of the wind system. With one shot, a world breaker monster was killed by this as quickly as Gale's more powerful bullets hit the body and were penetrated, directly killing 3 birds with 1 stone. Master Brynja, I will protect you to the death. Seeing the immobile figure of Brynja standing in the front row, the morale of the Silvermane Iron Guards was high, which is why the morale of the Silvermane Iron Guards did not collapse after fighting the World Ripper monster for so long. Even though they are now surrounded by many monsters, there is nothing to be afraid of when the Guardian candidate, Lord Brynja, protects them at the front of the team. Under the leadership of Brynja, the strength of the Silvermane Iron Guards has generally increased by 20 to 30%. Under the military force of the Phalanx, it seems that a shield is colliding with the World Breaker monster. The fighting continued, and the deep cold prowler was very angry after seeing that his subordinates hadn't broken through the human formation for so long, and directly instigated a freezing storm of energy explosions all over his body, and thousands of them flew like hailstorms. Needless to say, the destructive power of the hail wrapped in the shock wave, Brynja at the front hastily turned her gun to resist, while many people in the back were injured to some extent even though they were wearing iron armor, and some even seemed to have cold air entering their bodies. He knelt on the ground and shivered. Brynja felt that her hands and clothes were scratched a lot. Just at this moment, the morale of the Silvermane Iron Guard dropped rapidly, and many people were injured or the cold air entered their bodies and lost their combat effectiveness. Damn it! This monster is so strong, if Japard is around, maybe this move can be resisted. The Silvermane Iron Guards thought so too. And as the monster attacked again, Brynja felt that it would be too late if she didn't break through. And at this moment, the sound of footsteps came densely. Ice and snow build this ambition, and it will never end. A voice that made the Silvermaned Iron Guards hear it sounded like heaven, and instantly all the Silvermaned Iron Guards were covered with a thick layer of ice shield. Here we come, hold on. As Japard said, he picked up the big box behind him and started smashing it, smashing the Ripper monsters all over their backs. And these Silvermaned Iron Guards who just arrived are even more imposing. Here we come, it's time to test our strength, everyone. Suddenly, with the arrival of Japard, the battle situation was reversed. The Ripper monsters were quickly killed. After killing those cunning monsters in Devil May Cry, the Silvermane Iron Guards only felt that the Ripper monsters in front of them had simple minds and slow movements. Live target. Brynja was even more incredulous looking at the imposing Silvermaned Iron Guard brought by Japard. When did they become stronger? Brynja is the one who knows the combat effectiveness of the Silvermane Iron Guard best. It can only be said that they are professional soldiers, and their combat effectiveness is stronger than that of ordinary people, but their strength is limited. But the scene in front of me can be said to subvert the three views. The creation of the rift is as simple as killing a chicken, and the shadow of eternal winter, which could not be defeated one-on-one, was chopped to the ground by the Silvermane Guards with a quick shot or an axe after a few moves. His strength is even more exaggerated than his own growth rate, but the key point is that he has not yet increased his growth rate. Japard and his team are like bulldozers, quickly clearing and killing all monsters. The guards follow Japard in front, and the shooters seem to have magic bullets like Brynja, which are more powerful. The dense bullets first harvested the monsters, and the undead guards harvested with one blow, and they didn't need defense at all. Chief Japard will help them. In Brynja's view, this is simply an invincible army. But this confused her even more. When did they become so strong? Hasn't it been 2 days? Suppressing complicated emotions, Brynja took a deep breath and hurriedly continued to increase her power, making the army even more unstoppable. The deep cold prowler felt that the timing was wrong after seeing it, so he ran away in a hurry. Japard still wanted to catch up. After all, he had just learned to dodge and was going to try to find an opponent who could take advantage of it. As a result, the monster ran away when he saw that the situation was not good. Damn! You run so fast, I'll kill you next time. Brynja was silenced by Japard's words. Chapter 44. The Silvermane Guards on the ground couldn't believe it when they saw the comrades who came to replace them in such a state of strength. There is someone in this group who I know, and his strength is obviously inferior to his own, but what happened today? He easily defeated the World Breaker monster that he could hardly defeat. Everyone, hurry up and go back to rest and recover from your injuries. We will take over here. Well, let's go back, everyone. Although Brynja was puzzled, the lives of the wounded were still important at the moment. The monster's move just now was too terrifying. If she hadn't been of the wind attribute and used the rotating gun to induce the airflow as a shield, she would probably have been seriously injured. After sending the wounded out, Brynja looked at Japard. Japard garrison officer, your strength and the Silvermane Iron Guard under you seem to be stronger. Did you undergo any special training? The increase in combat power is very obvious. I just saw it. Yes, we found a good place in the city that can help people improve their strength. Where can you improve so much in 2 days? No, to be precise, it should be 6 hours. Because of some financial reasons, they can only be given 6 hours. Brynja. These Iron Guards are just 6 hours of training. The knowledge Brynja learned made her feel that everything in front of her was too magical and unreal. Where is the location of that store? Tomorrow, I will also take the Iron Guards to train. Japard gave a general account of his situation in the store. So, I understand, I will apply for funds from the Guardian, and I will go tomorrow. Things change, but these have nothing to do with Luo Yu. Luo Yu is thinking about another thing at the moment, such as opening a store in the downtown area. People are suffering in the upper boroughs, but even more so in the lower boroughs. Many people in the lower city are poor, suffering from many disasters and diseases, and there are many chaotic refugees. But he will not interfere with everything in the lower district at will. He just intends to create a game to help the people in the lower district to have some spiritual entertainment and increase their strength. And now that he is rich in energy, he plans to make a game that is friendly to the people. As long as he works hard, he can gain power, and it is very popular and suitable for people in the downtown area. After much deliberation, there are two games, Poisonous Milk Powder and Yuan Shen, which are suitable. To improve the player's strength, Poisonous Milk Powder has the most abundant occupations, 63 kinds, and rich combat capabilities. Although the professional characteristics have been changed in the end, it is still good before the 70 version. Although Yuanshen's high-end strength is almost at the bottom of Mihayu universe, but fortunately, the ability balance system is relatively complete, and the threshold for ordinary people is very low, with comprehensive and diverse abilities, and can take risks in 7 open worlds. The power can be obtained at will, and the ability of the 7 gods requires luck and Krypton gold. Of course, through the game created by Luo Yu, the star god, the strength of the original god's worldview will be uplifted, so don't worry about the strength. After much deliberation, it might still be Yuan Shen, at least this is also a long-term update. There are not enough players for Poisonous Milk Powder. After all, it is a large-scale online game, and it is boring if there are fewer people. So Luo Yu seemed to be sleeping at the bar with a pillow on Silva's lap, but he was actually making games. Of course, Yuan Shen is to open Mond first, and of course it is not a normal Mond. Mihayu makes such a small game because of the limited technology and player's game configuration. Luo Yu doesn't have to worry about this. Mond is almost restored 1-to-1, and arranges various anchor points, statues, treasure chests, teleportation arrays, organs, the location of the flower of the ley lines, the distribution and types of monsters, the distribution of plant materials, the distribution of secret places, the layout of the terrain, etc. Although it is very difficult, simple but time-consuming, it takes about 2 days. This is the first time he has spent so much time. In addition, considering the 1-to-1 restoration of Mond and Mond City, Luo Yu also spent a lot of effort to make the time flow speed and triple speed time. 3 hours in the game, only 1 hour has passed in reality, which increases the player's game time in a disguised way, or else the game time will be up after a stroll around Mond City. I believe that with this, players will have more fun playing, and there is no need to waste too much real time. And Brynja said that she was going to come the next day. In fact, she couldn't wait to be curious and came to the store alone after reporting the situation to her mother. She was going to experience the application for funding with her mother. The Silvermane Iron Guard under Japard is the evidence. The elite lieutenant among them may be enough to deal with 3, which is terrible. She used to be the first 10 of those people. Opening the door and seeing the equipment inside, Brynja only felt a high-end feeling rushing towards her face, and she was a little uncomfortable for a while. After all, the guard Japard said that this place is a shop named after the star god. Lingxi opened it, that status is equivalent to that of the guardian star god, so naturally there is a feeling of awe. Welcome, it's Brynja, you're here too? That kid Japard came back instead of you. Hearing this familiar voice, Brynja followed the voice and saw Silva smiling at her. It turned out to be Senior Shilava. I didn't expect you to be here. It seems that the situation here is not fake. By the way, where is the boss? No, the boss is sleeping. Brynja glanced at the beautiful boy lying peacefully on Silva's lap for a moment. The boss is so young. No, since this is the boss, Senior, you are. Brynja quickly thought that this senior sister might be planning to take over the owner of the shop. No matter how she looked at her identity, she felt that Silva was too high-ranking. Hey, don't think too much, just ask for something. Let's stop here, talk about what you want to play. Activate the Japard Warden. Okay, Devil May Cry. By the way, I can also recommend you to take a look at Honkai III. There are definitely things you are interested in. Zillowa helped to collect the money, and after taking a look at the game, she reacted and said with an inexplicable smile. Okay. After Brynja paid the money and looked at the appearance of others, she went to the computer instructed by Silva. The computer has been turned on to play games, and by the way, I recorded Brynja's appearance to open a new account. Brynja looked at the people around her. The glasses were complicated and she didn't know how to put them on, so she patted the people around her to ask for advice, but she saw a familiar figure with pink hair. March 7th was relaxing in Benson Middle School. After being patted on the shoulder, she paused the game and turned her head to see who it was. When she saw Brynja, the second girl's eyes froze for a moment to realize. Have we met? Brynja, right? Not many people have the hairstyle of your 3 auger heads. March 7 looked at Brynja's iconic hair and said, of course it was a pun. She was still playing the third game, and when she turned her head, she saw a bigger Brynja. Shouting is already considered calm. Chapter 45. You know me? Oh, sorry, maybe everyone in Belberg knows me. Brynja felt that she probably talked nonsense. March 7th was a little surprised, thinking it was really Brynja. What a coincidence, I was using Brynja to control monsters when I was playing games, but it turned out to be by my side, although it might not be in the same world. I didn't expect your name to be Brynja, what a coincidence. What's the meaning? Brynja couldn't understand this sentence. What does it mean to be a real Brynja? She is obviously herself. Could it be that this person can still see her in other places? Ah, cough, actually the first time I saw you, I thought of Brynja, that's why I said that. Oh no, I've seen someone named Brynja who is almost like you. Although March 7's words were a bit complicated, Brynja understood after thinking about it for a while. Where did you meet someone like me? In this game, look. Brynja took a look with her head. It was probably Brynja who released the black hole and controlled the reloaded bunny to emit lasers. Brynja, eyes wide open, incredible. Although the current Brynja is still young, it doesn't affect the fact that this character is 80% similar to her childhood. What game is this? Ben-san, you have already activated this one, come and try. Speaking of March 7th, I began to teach Brynja how to use it. Brynja quickly adapted and saw herself in Beng-san's hong. She has the same figure as Lolita, her hair is two short spirals, her face is expressionless, and her voice has no emotional fluctuations, but she is very familiar with electronic devices that she is not familiar with, and she quickly types things that she can't understand at all. Anyway, she just thinks amazing. This, is me from another world? It's really powerful, and is it mainly based on that kind of cannon? It's amazing that there is such a giant cannon, and it's amazing to have that kind of magical mechanical assistance behind it. The legs seem to be mechanical, could it be? Broken? Although I can't fight in close combat anymore, I feel better than me with the auxiliary strength of the heavy armored bunny. So Brynja got to know it deeply, only to realize that there is such a vast world outside. Although the collapsed world is more advanced than Yali Luo, the collapsed world is also more terrifying. The ability of Honkai to erode makes Brynja feel similar to the monsters of the World Breaker, both of which are crises, but human beings in the Honkai world do not seem to be weak. There are Valkyries with destiny to fight against Honkai, and anti-entropy. On the other hand, March 7th looked at Brynja a few more times, and then looked at the game. Brynja and Aunt Jitsi have both come out from another world. Will there be me in this world? March 7th couldn't help thinking, and poked Brynja on the bridge. Captain, Brynja is aware of her physical condition, and I'm afraid it will be like this in the future. It turned out that March 7th accidentally poked the tablet, which triggered Brynja's special voice. The sound made March 7 couldn't help but look at Brynja next to her again. Well, although it may be almost the same, if there is no accident that Brynja can open up like this when she grows up, it seems to be a potential stock. And one person silently observed the movement here. It's really similar. This is Brynja in her 20s. There is still room for development. The different world is really wonderful. Walter Yang sighed in his heart and thought about it. If this child is also interested in the future Hersker of Reason, please guide her. This planet with backward technology currently limits her performance. Just like GZI, if the other world does not collapse, the technology will be advanced, and the future will be brighter if you master the power of railguns. Brynja's feeling of entering the game to experience another world is still very wonderful. Especially to experience another way of fighting, and even have the unimaginable ability of breaking time and space. The Valkyries in this world are so powerful. Even though they are only B rank, they have such strength. Brynja said that because she didn't know that the weakest level has the most monsters, the B-level Valkyrie of Hanzo, and the ninja of Naruto. The more Brynja looked at it, she felt that her eyes were opened, and her previous self seemed too rustic. And what makes Brynja most excited is the separation of man and machine in the dimension to fight together and the heavy artillery lock-on attack of the alien Black Core. Just need a lottery. After playing the game, I found that the crystals were not enough, so I got 3 stars and 4 stars. After thinking about it, Brynja felt that it was okay to spend some money to experience a stronger self in another world. Maybe she had awakened something, so she paid for a 328 first, which was the pocket money she had saved for a long time. Nia didn't know how to spend money at all, or there was nothing she was interested in this world, so she was educated wholeheartedly to become the heir of the great guardian of the standard template, and the money was donated to the parents of injured or dead soldiers. But now there are things that interest her, and there is demand for money. 328 Star Joan? Brynja, you are really willing. I can tell you that this game has no wealth and luck, and you can't get what you want at all. I know, but I don't have any need for money. It's hard to find something I'm interested in. It's okay to try it, and it doesn't matter if it's in vain. I don't know if the sound of the conversation woke Luo Yu up or she woke up. Luo Yu stretched and got up, feeling refreshed. Mond has already made half of it, and the rest of the work will be done tomorrow. Looking up, he saw a familiar face. Has Brynja come here? It's really fast. So the influence of the store in the upper area is almost the same. That Kokolaya didn't bother me. It seems that if I ignore the star core, it won't come to my door. Luo Yu quickly thought of a lot, and Brynja was also very curious after seeing Luo Yu wake up. How could the boy in front of him be the owner of this magical shop at such a young age? And she also had a problem. Boss, do you know where I am in another world? I know. Why do you want to meet yourself in another world? Luo Yu can do this, and even his current ability can even allow Brynja to choose to travel through the Benson of that time period, whether it is the period of Boulanja mercenary, or the Hersker of reason, the law of truth or, as well as the post-Honkai period. Ah, is it really possible? Does it cost anything? The price? The price is that you can only practice your destiny until the first stage. After reaching the first stage, you will be a genius that the Game Master cares more about. At that time, the Game Master will grant you a wish. You can choose to let him take you to see it. Or you can bring you from another world. Chapter 46. Luo Yu will not do things that lose money. Most everything has its price, let alone something that is a bit laborious. Besides, Brynja knows very well that this matter has a price, so what more can I say? The first stage, what is it? Brynja was puzzled by this. Not only Brynja was puzzled, but Silva next to her was also puzzled. Boss, what is the first stage of destiny? Cough, so you don't know. The first stage of destiny is almost when all 6 branches of yours are lit, or one of them reaches 20% progress. Silva checked it for the first time, and found that what she did most was to ignite the soul of action, and her progress in this aspect was 1.2%, which was far from 20%, which made Silva very disappointed. But when Brynja just came into contact with it, the most ignited action souls were only 0.2%, which was even worse. Brynja was a little frustrated and quickly cheered up. After all, she was just getting started. The boss said that those who can be noticed by the star gods are geniuses, and her current efforts are still far behind. After Luo Yu explained this, not only Silva, but also the players who were close to him secretly raised their ears, as if they heard something important. The star girl who was close could hear clearly. Hey, did you hear what the boss said just now? March 7 leaned over and asked curiously. Xingmei repeated Luo Yu's words. Is it actually like this? Then I feel that it may be many years. On March 7th, the one who looked at me the most was actually experiencing game life, 1.5%. This is actually the main thing that will naturally increase after a long time with the game, so March 7th feels desperate. But Jitsi and Walter Yang reacted differently. Even GZI immediately got up and couldn't sit still, and came to the front desk to ask. Can I really see myself in another world? Of course, when my boss has ever lied to someone, this is the star god. Your lord told me in person. If there is such a genius in the store, I will be very happy. Then it's an agreement, and no one is allowed to go back on their word. That pulls the hook, the little finger pulls the hook. Pull the hook? I'll come too. San Yuqi came in directly and grabbed Luo Yu's ring finger. Seeing this, Xingmei hooked her index finger. Shilava directly gave a thumbs up. Seeing this, Brynja also joined in the fun. Maybe she didn't know the meaning of the middle finger, she didn't mind hooking the middle finger. Okay, rest assured that the boss will not break his promise, and those who break his promise will be punished by eating rocks. Looking at the fingers held by the 5 beauties, Luo Yu patted his forehead helplessly with an expression that he really couldn't stand you. It immediately attracted the laughter of all the girls. Perhaps at this moment, Luo Yu and all the girls will remember this pure and happy moment without any other emotions. The game is still going on, and a new plot has been updated. Brynja and everyone are watching carefully. The plot of the 4th chapter is basically that Kiyuna is going to save Mei, Wendy, and Brynja. Because Destiny does not plan to go to war with anti-entropy at present, the first task is to rescue the target task. If there is a chance, it will cause some damage. In this way. And Brynja didn't read the 3rd chapter this time, so she followed the boss to watch the 4th chapter with a group of people. But among them, Brynja watched the plot with peace of mind, and looked at Jitsi from time to time, and looked at Jitsi Wolyangta inside, and suddenly felt very strange. In another world, I seem to be GZ's student. In this world, the two have never met, but after looking at each other, they instinctively feel that the other party is someone worth getting close to. Brynja, right? I'm Jitsi, the navigator of the star train, and I'm with them. Well, Brynjarand, welcome to Belloberg, the city of preservation. Although this time may not be appropriate, our world is in serious crisis as you can see. Don't worry, our trip is to help you solve your problems. Maybe you don't understand how your world became like this. In fact, everything is caused by the star core. Our trip is to solve this thing. Hey? Is that so? Is that thing so dangerous, the main culprit for our world to become what it is? Not all, you know the star god now, and this star core is almost the death notice that the star god of destruction spreads in the universe. As long as any living planet is targeted by the star core, the star god of destruction will soon follow here and send out the army destroyed this place, but I don't know what happened afterwards, probably because of what kind of deal was made between one of your great guardians and the star core to make this happen. What Brynja said was gradually shocked. There is such a thing? But the star core seems to be still there. Will our world be invaded again? Brynja's question made Himeko think for a while. If the breach fails to completely solve this planet, then the star core may call for the antimatter army, and then what your ancestors experienced may happen again. GZI replied with a serious expression. Is there any basis for the news you said? Brynja was a little unbelievable and a little bit convinced, but she still wanted to see the evidence. Evidence? The evidence is buried in the ice and snow, and the countless frozen monsters are the silent evidence. Jitsi's words made Brynja think of something and understand. It seems that my vision was too low in the past. I thought that destroying the monsters in the world would save the world. Now it seems that it is wishful thinking and ridiculous. In this case, I should persuade my mother to strengthen our strength. In order for our world to recover, we must not only defeat the monsters of the world, but also smash the star core, and declare war on the monsters that may attack our world. Something that belongs to us. Brynja immediately had a goal, and her blood boiled. But Jitsi is optimistic about Brynja, but as for Kakalaya, she is a little hard to say. After all, Kakalaya in Honkai III is a person with a lot of flaws. Her weaknesses are too obvious or her personality is a little extreme. The star core is a kind of life, and it can even confuse people's hearts. Today's Belloberg is so bad, I am afraid that it cannot be separated from the fact that the woman from Kakalaya was bewitched. And at this time, I heard Jitsi comment on Kakalaya in the plot. Kakalaya is a radical and an extremist, that's why he has repeatedly had friction with us. This sentence made Brynja turn her head suddenly, only to feel that she had heard it wrong. There are mothers Kakalaya in this world. Brynja immediately became puzzled. Seeing Brynja's dumbfounded expression, Silva beside her smiled and said nothing. Chapter 47. But Brynja, who was attracted, found out after careful study that not only that, but the self in this world also called Kakalaya her mother. It's just that the ones in this world are not as attractive as the ones in the current world, and they are younger. From the perspective of the protagonist group, Kakalaya's behavior is basically a bad person, somewhat extreme, regardless of whether a person can befriend a human who becomes a hairsker after becoming a hairsker, and be tolerant. Resulting in Wendy's death. A talented Valkyrie who was expected to become an S-rank, kind-hearted and responsible, had already died in her prime, on a cold experimental table. This scene deeply stimulated Brynja's three views. Why would Kakalaya's mother in this world do such a thing? Brynja couldn't believe it and didn't want to believe it. But her mood is the same as that of the collapsed Brynja, and even the collapsed Brynja is even more angry. After all, Wendy has actually accepted that they were about to be persuaded to successfully suppress the power, and was forcibly suppressed by Kokolia interrupted and activated the brain chip to capture and bring it back, and finally a tragedy happened and Wendy was killed. But this is exactly the case. In the plot, Brynja took the initiative to help Kiyuna sneak in after recovering. Although this was suspected by GZI as a trap, Teresa said that she had all the little problems. This is the other end of the matter. Jitsi revealed that Teresa could actually be awarded the S-level title, but she didn't accept it. The big reason was because of her friend Cecilia, but because of Kiana's presence, Germany Lisa stopped the subject. And here also reveals the topic of anti-entropy and destiny. The combat units that represent anti-entropy are basically mechas, which cost a lot, and the utilization rate of Honkai is only 20%. Valkyrie is the most suitable carrier, but the cost of becoming a Valkyrie is too high, and many girls don't. If it fits, it becomes a dead man. And the leader of anti-entropy is a humane person, and would rather spend more money to make mechas. So the anti-entropy lord is still a good person? Then what happened to Kakalaya? Teresa's evaluation made people puzzled, but Walter Yang's hand trembled slightly in the dark, and subconsciously took a sip of water to suppress his shock. If things go on like this, I guess I'll be on stage soon, and I feel like my background and identity will be exposed. I hope they'll think that's me from another world. When Luo Yu heard this, he only wanted to say wishful thinking. In the future, he was planning to release the second Honkai manga and anti-entropy visual novels, and his underwear was completely leaked. And the following plot made Brynja even more uncomfortable or didn't know how to evaluate it. Brynja led Kiana and others to open the door all the way to Mei, but Kakalaya had been observing secretly, until now she showed her fox tail to indicate that you were fooled, and was ready to control Brynja to betray her companions again. But this time Brynja did not betray, and her sanity remained. Brynja's parents passed away when she was a child. Kakalaya is just like her mother, but Brynja met Sister Mei. She was very kind to Brynja. Stupid Kiana, take Mei away. After Brynja finished speaking, her eyes gradually became dull. But Kakalaya hurriedly stopped loudly. A chip implanted in your brain, burn it out of control, are you suicidal? Brynja will not hurt Sister Mei again. Saying that, he glanced at Mei for the last time. Goodbye, Sister Mei. After speaking, Brynja fell to the ground with a black eye. Brynja's heart sank, and Wendy's death later made her take a deep breath and comfort herself. It's just Mama Kakalaya from another world. Mama Kakalaya in this world would not do such a thing. She is the great guardian of Bel Oberg. Later, Kakalaya summoned the Heavenly Father to start fighting. Let me do it. Brynja took a deep breath, feeling uncomfortable if she didn't breathe it out. Huge mecha, terrifying firepower, but Brynja didn't panic but got to know the Valkyrie in her hand. Recommended this time are Valkyrie Oath carrying the Judas launcher, Kiana Balian, and Jitsi Battlefield, Mine, Gale. At this time, the three characters are not far behind. After all, in the first version, Brynja directly released the Judas launcher when she was experiencing Teresa. The Judas cross was like an umbrella unfolding, revealing many arrows. Quickly emptied the storage, densely packed with arrows. The arrow fell on the Heavenly Father, and the Heavenly Father, a big machine, was beaten with a clear and crisp sound. And Teresa herself can control Judas as she likes, throwing the thunder gun inside in various ways, and immediately even the Heavenly Father's mech is beaten into a hedgehog. March 7 looked at it for a while and scratched his head. Boss, does the role of Teresa only rely on the cross on the back? The attacking weapons and moves are basically that Judas releases various lightning-attributed light guns on the back to nail the judge to the ground. I feel that leaving the cross Teresa's strength will be much less. Hey, you have vision. In fact, Teresa also has one of her nicknames called Judas Launcher. Teresa often likes to say, do you know how many ways Judas can be used? She adjusts her attack methods according to Judas behind her. No wonder my character, Teresa, is so weak. It seems that if there is no stronger weapon with stigmata, it would be better to use it for nothing. Luo Yu felt that if Teresa came over and heard March 7, there would be multiple Judas on her head. Brynja's game talent is still there, and her mind is flexible and smart. She can deal with the current half-finished Heavenly Father with ease. The most important thing is that Teresa has Judas, which is the key of God. Made by the core of the hairsker, with the God's key, as long as it can be used, it is almost equal to half of the hairsker, and the zero-rated power of the God's key will be activated, so even the hairsker can kill you. Speaking of which, the manga should also be opened, at least to make players more aware of many items in this game. But everything still has to wait for the life experience of the key character Fu Hua to start. Since Fu Hua's plot deepened, Bang San's plot has been advancing all the way. Fu Hua has carried out the history of Honkai from 50,000 years to the present. At that time, the pre-civilization, the second Honkai, Nian Sui, Moon Shadow Chapter, Z1, etc. can all be opened. And the plot starts singing all the way from the reunion in the snowy field in the 5th chapter. From here onwards, this game is no longer just a warm game played by a simple beautiful girl, but a fight for all the good things in the world. Chapter 48. The Heavenly Father's mech was repaired frantically, and it was quickly scrapped after Judas attacked. Kiyuna and the others also completed the task and left the Mi agency. But they were not happy, because they demanded the life of Brynja, who was almost brain dead, and Saint Freya's Far East branch currently has no power to save Brynja. Teresa went to the bottom of the church for this, where the destiny is hidden, the highest biotechnology. And the 5th chapter is called Snowfield Reunion. Boss, the title of this chapter is very good, it should have a good story. March 7th is quite happy. Luo Yu recalled in his mind that I would give up my life for the one I love, that Cecilia is dead, return her mother to me and other information, and finally showed an affirmative smile. Yet, Kiyuna will feel warm in this chapter, although it's just a dream. Luo Yu said without blushing. In the plot, Lisa searched the archives, among which there were 712 top-secret Zyran archives, which made Jitsi take a closer look, and Teresa only had one item left on February 7, 2000, which was the source of all evil. She made Sirenswell more active. And Kiyuna, the idiot, straight into the second collapsed Babylon laboratory. It's really icy and snowy. Such a heavy snow suddenly reminded me of my father. At that time, the snowball thrown by my father with all his strength even shattered a 2-meter-high boulder. Wait, wouldn't it be dangerous if I didn't run away at that time? Kiyuna seems to have realized it later, but this plot is just a foreshadowing, and everyone around her is just complaining about her father's kindness and daughter's filial piety, but Kiyuna quickly fell down, and the person who traveled thousands of miles to find her stinky father failed to find it, but met him in the extreme east, a good friend, a shelter. The lonely snowfield made Kiyuna suddenly feel that she had come to the lonely period of being alone again, thinking about May's meal, Brynja playing games together, Teresa's training, and Himeko's drunkenness and taking off her clothes. Speak out. Gzi. This is just me in another world. It seems that I made the right choice not to drink. Gzi took a sip of coffee to suppress her shock, ignoring the strange eyes of the others. Brynja looked away, and prayed that she in another world would not have any dark spots of death. If it weren't for the plot, many people would like to talk about it in detail. And Kiyuna quickly connected to the signal while thinking wildly, and the voice seemed to be Teresa. And Teresa seemed to be injured in the battle of the second hairsker. Teresa regenerated and repaired, and said that she would destroy the second hairsker before the destiny sent her. Here is what Teresa said about her friend Cecilia. Cecilia is the weapon of destiny against hairsker. The holy blood of Shaniat in Cecilia's body is a great weapon to defeat hairsker, but when it is released they almost died together, which is why Teresa fought urgently despite her injuries. And this Teresa is actually from 2000. Kiyuna, who has grown up, goes up to say hello, just like hearing a 17 or 18-year-old claiming to be her niece who didn't even go to kindergarten. Although Teresa is stupid, she won't be deceived either, so Teresa sneered. Do you really think I'm stupid? My niece, Kiyuna, is only 1 year old now. Die for me, second hairsker. Kiyuna was stunned, and the onlookers were also stunned. They thought it was Teresa, but what's going on now? Kiyuna is only 1 year old. Could it be that this time traveled to the year 2000? Kiyuna must have entered that system by mistake. After careful analysis, Gzi quickly connected the truth from a few words. Jitsi is so smart, he thought of it right away, so can we see what happened in the second collapse in 2000? As March 7th said, he suddenly realized, and suddenly felt pleasantly surprised. After all, many things in the past were talking about the second collapse, but what happened, probably only knew that Kiyuna's mother died in this battle. In the plot, Lisa and Kiyuna, who don't know what's going on, but are relentless when encountering battles, fight together. And Teresa felt something was wrong after fighting for a while. Could it be that you are using the Kislana spear fighting technique? Of course, my father taught me. Who is your father? Of course it's Siegfried Kislana. What's going on here? Kiyuna is only 1 year old. Teresa felt that her CPU was a little burned, and her head hurt. Many girls around Luo Yu couldn't help laughing. March 7th, Teresa is really stupid, I feel that her brain IQ is not enough. Brynja, you can't say that, it's the same if you change yourself, it just feels funny. Brynja felt that if she had less knowledge, she might be like Teresa. And Kiana also seems to have realized that she may have come to the world of 2000, and this one who has not changed and is still not tall is Teresa in 2000. Thinking of this, Kiana is not surprised, but Teresa said the words made Kiana stunned. Could it be that you are the illegitimate daughter of that guy Siegfried? I knew that guy's private life was messy, but I didn't expect her daughter to be so old. Are you sorry for Cecilia? I really want Judas to shoot him for that guy. Kiana. Teresa continued to run wildly on the road of misunderstanding, thinking she was very correct. I feel that Teresa's intelligence is somewhat worrying, and Kiana is stronger than Teresa. And Kiana has been looking for her father since she was 12 years old and has traveled around in a world full of collapses. She still has the ability to talk nonsense when she meets people. Just followed Teresa's words and said that the stinky father abandoned the mother and daughter 4 years ago, and the mother passed away. Siegfried. Enter into each other's play, be happy and filial. The girls laughed heartily again. Kiana is really getting worse and worse. I wonder how Siegfried will react. Kiana didn't take it seriously, but Teresa had already sharpened her sword and asked Siegfried's location directly, ready to seek justice. She had long wanted to beat up this stinky man who robbed her good friend. And Kiana thought that this was the second Honkai, so she took the initiative to ask Teresa if she knew Cecilia, that was her mother, and told Teresa to hide the illegitimate daughter she just talked about. Teresa asked why, and Kiana explained in a serious manner that Cecilia was more important, and almost said that she leaked her mother during the period. Cecilia, the level that Teresa cares about most, can talk about this kind of thing after everything is done. Soon following Teresa and meeting Siegfried, Kiana was stunned and didn't know what she was thinking. Siegfried is no wonder that although Yu Luo spread rumors about Fengju, it has something to do with him being a playboy who gets drunk and flirts with girls every day. His daughter Kiana immediately asked who the beautiful lady is. Haida, no wonder the wind critic was killed, that's your daughter, a newborn. March 7th, this man also has white hair, and so does Delisa Kiana. It really isn't that the whole family doesn't come in. Gzi felt that this man was actually just used to greeting him like this, not necessarily for striking up a conversation. And Luo Yu thought that his father-in-law finally came out, and if he recognized this father-in-law, he would have 4 wives, the Queen, Kiana, Yolandel, and Sirin. Cecilia may also wonder how she has 3 or 4 daughters when she only gave birth to 1. Chapter 49. But soon people will change their minds about Siegfried. The guy who was originally a playboy quickly turned into a serious, deep, sharp-eyed man. Bad news and even worse news, the second Hersker was not found, and Cecilia seemed to be seriously injured shortly after giving birth to Kiana. Her body is currently not suitable for battle, and things are not going well. Cecilia still has 30 minutes to go. Ya is coming, and the second Hersker must be eliminated before that. The man Siegfried had an indomitable determination in his eyes, and this scene seemed to be a warrior belonging to the Kislana family. Let the star train and the girls around you stand in awe. But Kiana seemed to finally react, and gave Siegfried a slap when he was distributing tasks, and said that it was just interest. The relationship between father and daughter is really strange. March Chi couldn't help touching his forehead and felt speechless. In separate outfits, Teresa only lasted 4 minutes and 50 seconds against the second Hersker, which was bad news for Siegfried. Could it be, Siegfried, are you going to open the heavenly fire sacred judgment and die with the second Hersker? Teresa seemed to react, her pupil shrank. But Siegfried seemed to see it. Of course, Teresa helped me take care of Cecilia and Kiana. After the voice finished, there was no response, and Teresa's words also flowed into the sea. But for Siegfried, he has no choice, either he will fight to the death of the second Hersker or Cecilia will die. The audience was both shocked and puzzled. Boss, what is the heavenly fire sacred order? March 7th asked curiously. That's a long story. Simply put, it's the weapon of the god of war. Every time it is swung, it's for the beloved and to protect everyone. In Luo Yu's mind, he was thinking about the end of Kevin's battle, the tree of Otto's imaginary number, and Siegfried doing his best for the one he loves, or most of the characters of Huo Dajian in the world of Mihuyu are tragic role. And Teresa in the plot is also explaining to the idiot Kiana. The heavenly fire sacred judgment is the ancestral weapon of the Kislana family. It has been liberated from the dual spears to the form of a large sword. Even among the sacred relics of the destiny, it is one of the most destructive. Especially the great sword of flame. After the seal of the two guns is released, the flames of Honkai energy released are enough to turn any enemy into ashes. Wow! Is the heavenly fire sacred judgment so powerful? No, it seems that you have to pay the price of your life, and that seems understandable. After thinking about it on March 7th, I realized that everything still has a price. At this moment in the plot, Siegfried has already fought with the second Hersker. A spout of blood is quite conspicuous in the snow-capped place. Has Teresa not come yet? Sure enough, the legs are too short. Just to make fun of it, Siegfried already felt that even if he and Teresa teamed up, it would be hard to beat. You are stronger than that nun, as long as you beg for mercy, I will let you go. Why does this second Hersker feel that the voice of her voice is that of a young girl? March 7th couldn't help muttering. Is it possible that this Hersker is also a human being, and he is not very old? After all, it is the same for Hersker Maya and Wendy who have appeared so far. Gzi touched his chin and thought so. Then this human girl who became the second Hersker is not ordinary. She can become a Hersker, and she seems to still maintain a trace of her original nature. The Black Tower also discovered a blind spot. She really wanted to study this kind of girl. When it came to researching the Black Tower, she quickly remembered that this trip seemed to be a laboratory in Babylon. Reminiscent of the birth of the Valkyrie and the stigmata, the Black Tower seemed to have vaguely found the truth. It seems that this girl should be the strongest among the experimental subjects. What's so special about her? It has to be said that Hay Tower is indeed a genius. Luo Yu would give a thumbs up after hearing it. His thinking was basically following the plot. As a result, Hay Tower thought of a lot in 10 seconds. Everyone's discussion may be a bit biased, after all, this Hersker of the sky seems to have no majesty at all. But Siegfried didn't feel how childish Hersker's words were. He knew very well about Hersker's strength. Either she died or Cecilia's favorite wife was sacrificed. Thank you for your kindness, beautiful lady, but I have already made up my mind. In order to protect the person I love the most, I am willing to give up my life. With words, Honkai energy gradually accumulates on the heavenly fire great sword. As if the zero-rated power is activated, the blazing flame illuminates Siegfried's blood-stained face, only his eyes are blazing like fire. The strong Honkai energy fluctuations terrified even the second Herskers. How is it possible? How could that sword have such power? Go to hell with your doubts. Skyfire, unsheathed. The light of the heavenly fire great sword gradually illuminates the world, burning and extinguishing all auras. The flames engulfed an unknown number of kilometers, forming a huge flame crater. The destruction of the power of the elements is only a visual shock, but what is in front of you is almost a spiritual shock. Burning himself out of the sheath for the one he loves the most, he is really a charming and affectionate man. I don't believe that he is a playboy. Silva sighed. It is understandable that Mr. Siegfried is really a respectable person, and this quality is worth learning. Brynja said so. It's really respectable and sad to sacrifice your life for the one you love once in your life, but is the second Hersker dead? How could it be dead? It's still in Kiyana's body. While the girls were discussing, Yang Chengcheng remained silent and observed silently. Teresa, who had been on the way, arrived but it was too late, and Siegfried's body was basically disabled. But Cecilia also arrived and successfully saved Siegfried with the key of Heiwen White Flower God. Wow! Boss, what kind of artifact is this black abyss and white flowers? After hearing the function of Heiwen Beiwa, it immediately attracted the attention of all the women. March 7th asked excitedly. Oh, this is actually the God's Key, but I won't spoil too much, you just need to know that the God's Key is actually made by the core of the Hersker, each of which has powerful functional power, the Skyfire Greatsword too. So there are a lot of Herskers. I don't know who made these weapons. I really want to make friends with her and discuss it. Both Haida and Jitsi are interested in the genius who can use the core of Hersker to make weapons. Of course, but that's still the requirement. As long as you reach the first stage, I can introduce the genius who made the God's Key to you for an exchange. When Luo Yu said this, everyone felt that there was one more reason to play games. Chapter 50. Although Cecilia cured Siegfried, it also consumed her vitality and physical strength, which can be said to be even worse. But even so, when Teresa and Kiyana faced the difficult Honkai beast, a piece of justice from heaven directly smashed the Emperor-level Honkai beast, Ashivo, in an instant, without any face. Teresa, I'm sorry, I stole your prey. Seeing the white-haired figure glimpsed in the frozen frame, even March 7th let out a wow. What a temperamental big sister, no wonder Kiana is also good-looking. Cecilia is a full-fledged big beauty. Although she is influenced by braids, her face is still very cute. March 7th couldn't help but took a few photos and said excitedly. As expected of the strongest S-rank Valkyrie of Destiny, this temperament is beyond the reach of A rank and B rank. Himeko couldn't help being amazed by Cecilia's demeanor. Strong blood, it would be nice to have a little bit of her blood as a sample. The Black Tower seems to want to research all the time. And the players were even more amazed. I suddenly understood why Siegfried was so desperate. If Cecilia were my wife, I would also give my life. Mother-in-law is great, I can. It's so beautiful, Mother Kiana, I'm a little envious of Siegfried, my wife is beautiful, and my daughter is also amazing. Did this guy save the galaxy in his previous life? It's really cheap, that kid Siegfried, gritting his teeth. Wow, my eyes are dazzled by this smile, this appearance is so beautiful. Even Kiana, who was dumbfounded, was shocked. Cecilia. Mom. Am I the only one who finds out that the whole family is white-haired? This is so white-haired. I am very happy to be able to fight with my mother, even in the dream world Kiana. But behind such warmth is a man with blonde hair, green hat, secretly controlling it. Who is this man? His voice doesn't sound like a good man. March 7 instinctively felt that this Otto was not a good person. If I'm not mistaken, who else can have the highest authority to observe the secrets of destiny, and this should be Otto, the Bishop of Destiny. Sister Jitsi has been analyzing the plot all the time, and quickly deduced the identity of the characters. Tisk, it's just slightly different from what I imagined, and I feel like he's still a very young man. Not necessarily, maybe he is rejuvenating like me. What the Black Tower said is almost right, this guy Otto has survived to this day with the body of soul steel and many technologies of the pre-void civilization. Since Otto can watch this, it reminds me of the maid's words in the first chapter, saying that Kiana is the object of his attention all the time, what can be planned, and the behavior of this Catholic bishop is not a good person. Is it possible that this what happened next time is also in his calculations? GZI continued to make speculations, which is the benefit of watching all the plots. It's just that I don't quite understand what's going on here. Could it be that Otto can kill himself and try to activate the second hairsker in Kiana's body? Jitsi and Haida quickly fell silent as they talked. It seemed that it would be beneficial to activate the hairsker, but the second hairsker seemed to be very strong. When Jitsi and Haida discussed the plot, the brain circuits of the two geniuses were very fast, and the others couldn't keep up. And the turning point of the plot came. Kiana saw the diary and saw the magic spell in the diary. Ikliebadish, I love you. After reading the diary and reading it out by herself, Kiana suddenly felt a pain in her head, as if something was about to come out. After Jitsi and Haida's explanations, the girls probably understood that after seeing the current situation, they just felt bad and couldn't predict it right. And this magical spell to summon her mother really worked, and Kiana woke up in Cecilia's arms. This spell and the effect she wanted were deeply engraved in Serin's heart, and it was the most important memory in her life. And among them, the plot was quite tense, but Kiana accidentally opened a game, which Karen fantasized about. This is a role-playing game in which you control the Valkyrie Colin, fall in love with Colin, and finally deal with the Oriental Fox, and achieve a positive result with Colin. All I can say is, Bishop, it's time to eat peaches. There is also a funny thing in it, probably because Otto has always been the number one in Karen's fantasy, but Cecilia got the number one and her account was banned after that. Wow! This bishop is too narrow-minded. March 7 almost spoke at the same time as Kiana in the plot. Is it possible that this Karen is someone that the bishop cares about very much, and it feels like she's just fantasizing about something she can't relate to? There's something serious about it. Esta felt that she could finally speak, and she knew best the coolness of this fantasy. And this is just an episode. The incident of the resistance of the B-rank Valkyrie later proved that this is a human laboratory in the name of healing. GZ's guess was right. And then Otto's voice suddenly came, saying that if you don't solve the second hairsker, he will send out a fission bomb to destroy the hairsker in the laboratory together. After hesitating for a moment, Cecilia gave Kiana a reason and left, but it was at this time that Cecilia, who had made up her mind, planned to die with hairsker. Kiana came back to get this answer, anxious in her heart, but fortunately caught up with her and defeated the second hairsker Serin together. But just when Kiana and Cecilia's mother embraced the happiest moment of victory, everything shattered like a dream. The appearance of Teresa and Fu Hua brought Kiana back to reality, but she didn't want to return to reality. Fu Hua mercilessly exposed all this. What you have seen and experienced is all fake. The mother you are looking for, the mother you tried your best to protect, is just an illusion created by Siren with your desire. Kiana couldn't accept the ups and downs at all, and immediately thought of the spell to call her mother. By the way, it seems that the spell can make me see my mother again. Ikliabadish, I love you. At this moment, Kiana turned on the brand new Valkyrie armor, and a strong Honkai energy response wave appeared. It's over, the second hairsker seems to have really recovered. Why does that spell have such great magic power? All the women are very puzzled. But what shocked them was Fu Hua's words. No, this time the world won't change with your thoughts. Then the girls saw that squad leader Fu Hua, who was wearing a special armor, quickly put on a new armor, full of technological beauty. Kiana, Meng, it's time to wake up. And here Luo Yu directly let everyone experience the Moonlight vs Fu Hua Moon Wheel. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you are notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.